Good evening. We'll get started by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we take attendance?
So noted.
Okay, so I'll need a motion or discussion of the minutes from the June 9th meeting.
Moved.
So we have a motion to approve
Support.
and support. Motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are approved. So if I could just get the introductory slide up. So as a brief introduction, the Zoning Board of Appeals is a 7-member quasi-judicial body appointed by the Bloomfield Township Board of Trustees per the Michigan Zoning Enabling Act. Matters pending before the Zoning Board of Appeals are decided on a case-by-case basis. Any appeal of a decision made by the Zoning Board of Appeals is subject to Circuit Court review. Each case will be called separately in the order shown on tonight's agenda. There will be an opportunity for public comment at one point during each case. All persons wishing to comment will be asked to provide their name and address at the podium. Address your comments to the board and not the applicant or other members of the public. Given the number of appeals tonight, please make your comments brief. Comments by the Neighborhood Association will be considered as part of the factual information presented to the board, but those comments are not the determining factor for approval or denial. Please confine comments to the specific request before the board. For a request to be successful, an affirmative vote of at least 4 members present is required. We hope this provides you with a better understanding of what you can expect at tonight's meeting. I'd like everyone to know that item 16-5155 Kings Gateway has been postponed. It will not be heard tonight. And item 19-6400 Telegraphed has been postponed to August. So we won't be taking those up. And we'll start with item 1. 344 Tilbury. Is the applicant ready?
Hi, Board. So my name is Sabrina Brown with Mosier Design, and I'm here on behalf of the homeowners at 344 Tilbury Road. We are here tonight to respectfully request approval for proposed water features, a built-in bench, and a trellis and water feature in the rear yard and part of the side yard. These elements are a part of a coordinated residential landscape plan intended to create an attractive, functional outdoor living environment while remaining compatible with the home and surrounding neighborhood. This application did go in front of the Bloomfield Village Board and was approved unanimously. I'm not sure if Kathy is here, if she wrote a letter. The improvements are modest in scale, with the trellis remaining well below the permitted 14-foot height. The trellis, which is the largest element that we are requesting for, is located at least 16 feet from the property lines as required. There is already dense evergreen screening in the rear yard. Where there are a couple gaps, we are proposing those to be filled in for complete screenage of the backyard. I guess kind of back side yard. The only setback variance tonight involves the side yard water feature at just over 4 feet long and just a little bit over 3 feet high. It is a very low profile kind of landscape element rather than building or the occupiable structure. Its placement is necessary to integrate it properly with the architectural and overall site plan or site design that we have created. It will not create privacy, drainage, safety, or visibility concerns to any of the neighbors or to anyone on the road. This proposal will not negatively affect the character of the neighborhood or interfere with the use and enjoyment of the neighboring properties. Instead, it represents a thoughtful and professional coordinated enhancement to the residents. With that being said, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I did notice that the typo, as if you didn't notice, by the height of the fountain, it should be 3 foot 4 inches, and I think it was typed 3 foot by 4 inches high. So just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you for that clarification. Any questions from the board?
No.
So I'll open this to the public. I believe Kathy is here.
Good evening, Board. Kathy Weisenborn from Bloomfield Village. Our board did review this proposal. We did unanimously approve it. The structures are located behind the house as we require. There is full screening in that backyard, and there's a couple, except for a couple spots that the applicant committed to add additional screening. So we support the permission and the dimensional variance requests. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this item? And I'll close the public hearing. So you got a comment in favor. I don't know that you need a response to that, unless there's something you'd like to add.
Nope, we
Okay.
appreciate working with Kathy.
Okay,
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
great.
With regard to the permission request at the property of 344 Tilbury, I move for the accessory structure, water feature adjacent to the house, bench, trellis, and fire feature. I move that this request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, as that it is being fully screened, is low profile, and behind the house. With regard to the dimensional variance for the water feature located in the side yard and encroaching 9 feet 5 inches into the required 16-foot side yard setback, I move that this variance be approved as requested, and based on information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because of the that fact that it is a corner lot. Additionally, there is no injustice to adjoining neighbors by reason that it will be fully screened. Unique circumstances with the property have been demonstrated, given that it is, has excessive setbacks, and that this is very conducive to the neighborhood, and as a result is not self-created. So if this motion is approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And it says here, additional evergreen plantings may be required to screen the accessory structures from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the structures at the time of planting. I did hear Kathy say, though, that the additional evergreen plantings have addressed that. So let's make sure those happen.
Absolutely.
Support?
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, the request is granted.
Thank you, guys.
So calling item 2. 4831 Ballantrae? Ballantrae?
Yes, 4831 Ballantrae. I'm
Okay.
Robert Murray, I'm the homeowner. This is a request for a generator, standby generator, be placed in the front of the house, which is, of course, an issue. I fully expected this to be on the side lot, but that began to produce some problems. First of all is that it's difficult to see, but on that view on the top right is the garage of the house. And so the gas line actually has to go through the garage. There is no basement in that area. There's no crawl space. There's a second story over the garage, so there's no attic space. That puts the gas line through the area of the garage. The generator I've selected is a fairly large one for the sake of covering air conditioning and potentially an electric car down the line. I don't own an electric car right now, but I presume I will shortly. So the gas line is serving a large volume. That makes the pipe size large, and the fact that it has to snake through that area of the garage around some features, garage door openers and things like that, makes like an equivalent of 140 feet of gas line, which suddenly became an issue for me. The front actually works out pretty well because there's a garden you can see in just slightly below and to the right of that red square, the red square being the generator. That's a garden area between the porch and the shrub below the generator. So a garden area makes a great place to put in screening. So we're going to put in evergreens that exceed the height of the machine. Whereas if you go over on the other side where the electric meter is, the side yard, which would be the preferable location, or I should say from a zoning standpoint, You end up having to put screening in the pavement area of the driveway, and that turned out to be a big negative. The other thing about this is that the zoning, or the ordinance probably didn't anticipate the fact that there is no neighbor. Down where you see the Ballantrae Road sign, road label down at the bottom of that image, there's a pond below that. So it is the pond that looks at the front. And so between the fact that there is no neighbor and the fact that the screening would screen it from the road, it makes a great location. Whereas conversely, if I was to go with that side location that the ordinance would have expected, I really put it right up against the neighbor's bedroom area. The houses are very close together. Well, I mean, they have a generator too, and they wrote a letter accepting of the front location. So yeah, everything seems to point to that front location. You could hardly see the generator in this top view. There's actually some other foliage there that would block it. But that's not the foliage we would be using. It would have its own right up near the generator. So based on these difficulties, I'm respectively asking for a variance that would allow me to put that generator in the front.
Do we have any questions from the board? So on your landscape plan, the picture you had, it looks like there's, is it two arborvitae and then a brick wall? So could you talk about the brick wall?
Yes, a lot of the placement is dependent on the fact that that kind of star-shaped thing that I've labeled as a shrub there, that is a Japanese maple, and we really kind of fostered that. It does a lot for the front there. The exhaust of the machine will point toward it, and really I can't put an evergreen in the exhaust area, just like I don't want that exhaust to hit the Japanese maple. So that would have to be a brick structure that matches the brick of the house, and therefore taking the brunt of the heat from the machine. Arborvitaes, I've just put two on the side there. Again, it's not a very visible area, but it will be shrouded year-round to a height above the machine.
And what are those two plantings going to be that are shown on the diagram? What type of?
Frank, I'm not a plant person, but again, guidance being an evergreen, arborvitae,
Okay.
what have you. Again, full screening year-round and over the height of the machine.
Because we typically don't allow people to screen with a brick wall.
Well, in this instance, he's indicating that the proposed screening material matches that of the house.
Yes.
So our zoning ordinance does allow that if it was a picket fence, what have you, that would be different. In this instance, he's indicating it's a brick wall that matches the materials of the house. So I think in this, we would be able to accept that.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like the bottom part of his siding is brick.
Got it. Any other questions then? I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this? I'll close the public hearing and bring it back.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion in regards to the appeal at 4831 Ballantrae Road for dimensional variance for a generator located in the front yard and immediately adjacent to the structure. I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because without the generator, it would prevent reasonable use of the property, and especially as he anticipates to use it, and with the current often power outages that we have. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors because it will be heavily screened. It is probably in the best location for that type of screening, being how his house is oriented. Unique circumstances of the property, that being said, the existing floor plan of the property provides different kinds of limitations, and because of that, it is not self-created. With that said, if approved, the motion also includes applications for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. An additional evergreen plantings will be required to screen the generator from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the unit at the time of planting.
Support.
I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next up, item 3. 1, 2, 3, 6. Desia Avenue? Desia? French? Last syllable is silent? Croissant? Desia? Desia? My French teacher would be happy. Okay.
My name is Rebecca Beery, and I'm requesting an 8 by 10 foot shed to be placed behind my garage. So I don't know what else you want to know.
No, that's great.
I have an older
It's
Saab.
accurate, it's concise, it's good.
I have an older Saab, it's a whole Saab story, that I would like to fit in my garage, and right now cannot fit in my garage because of all the other tractor and snow blower and things like that. So there's my car, that's my car.
So
I would like to put that in the
Can anybody
garage.
see your shed from any direction?
So that picture there where the stump is, I am standing where the shed would be. So both of those pictures are from the edge of the 10-foot shed. So the back is completely covered with, they're not evergreens, there's a fence there. There's a neighbor behind me on Atkinson Road, who was supposed to fix her fence and never did. So I never see her. If you want to go back to the other picture, the blue house is actually a rental house. So behind that tree is a deck, which I can never see. And you can't see it on this picture, and I wish I would have included it, but if you go to the right where it says west, there is a dilapidated, ugly, horrible-looking shed that's been there forever that is clear to my view. If you look at the top picture with my new deck, behind those trees is an old beat-up garage, which he never uses. And there's another shed on the corner of that tree, which is also not covered. So there's a lot that I can see in my yard. My shed would be behind the garage, next to my gate, which is right there at the bottom picture. So it would actually be to the east of that gate, which is where my house is. So,
Are you planning on screening the shed?
well, I don't know exactly how I would do that unless I evergreen my whole backyard. I mean, I could do a little bit in front of to the right of the gate, but really the only place you would see it if you're going, and I don't know because it's not there yet, would be going east on Desiacs. I don't think you would see it from any other direction.
Yeah, that was the direction I was most concerned about when I asked the question. And it seems like to the east, maybe, you need, right? Because it's helpful that it's tucked up against the house, but our ordinance requires that it has to be screened 12 months out of the year, so unfortunately,
Well,
I
I
haven't
don't
been to the
have a
site.
problem with screening it. I just think that ordinance should be uniformly enforced to the 3 ugly sheds that I see all the time.
Yeah,
There's another brand-new
I-
shed on Ward Avenue that they just built with a screened-in porch, and you can see that clearly from every road.
and so I gathered from your answer when you were mentioning those, that those irritate you, but at least for tonight, don't even can
They
decide.
don't irritate me to the effect that I don't have a problem planting trees as long as it's enforced with the other neighbors around me. If they're grandfathered in, then that's a different story. But, I mean, I just don't know where I'd put them exactly. Do we decide that once the shed is built, where the evergreens would go? Is that the plan?
Well, typically, when you come in with a screening plan, and you say, this is where I'm going to screen.
Well, the gate's there, first of all, so I can't put them in front of the gate, because that would be where I'd have to pull the tractor in and out. It's the only gate I have. So I could put them to the west of the gate, which I don't have a problem with. So,
Okay,
just depending on how you want to line it up.
well, all I can tell you is the standard for the ordinance is it has to be screened from public view, and so that's what you'd have to do. And so you would make the decision. I mean, I think particularly the east, it seems like, and I think you even said it, that's where it might be most visible. So if you could put them there to the east, don't
Well,
block the gate.
it would be to the west.
Well,
If you go to
the
that.
east view.
Correct, going
Yeah.
to the east, yes.
East
you're
view,
correct.
I'm sorry.
But like I said, I can't block the gate,
Understood.
so.
Any other questions? I'll open this to the public. Who would like to comment on this? So I'll close public hearing. Any other questions to the applicant or questions about the screening or?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we were making it clear to the applicant that, we're not expecting you to put arborvitae's across the entire edge of your yard. It's just, whatever would be appropriate number of feet back from the shed itself. Just, you can put the arbs right there. That will reduce or minimize your investment. You'd only have to have enough arbs to enough height to cover the shed at the time of construction or installation and stuff like that. So
do you see the yellow shed on that drawing? And
Yep.
when it says 10 feet? So you want me to put arborvitae's all the way around that? Because that's where my garden is. Or do you want them just along on that 15-foot length of fence next to the
only where
gate?
there's an opportunity for people to see it, your neighbors to see it.
Right, unless my neighbor on the east side, the yellow house, goes out in his backyard and mows his grass, he's never gonna see it. So, because
So
it's behind.
I would assume he mows his
It's kind of
grass.
tucked, well, I'm saying.
He's
where
got
that- where that
sheep
house
or
is-
something, which we
Well, I have a
to-
border collie, so that might work out.
Okay.
But I'm saying if you, if you take that picture where I'm standing, my house takes up most of that east side.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what my fellow board member was stating is make sure that, because there at one point, I think it sounded like you thought you had to put screening across the whole back of your yard.
Yeah, that
to
would be a
screen
lot.
it. No, we're
Okay.
talking about, people just usually put it right around the shed itself, so you could very much limit what you would actually have to screen, just the part that's visible,
Okay, I
if
appreciate
that
it.
makes sense.
Makes sense? Okay, so are you ready for a motion?
I think so.
I'd be happy to make that motion.
Please do.
Let's see. So for the motion for the appeal at 1236 Desiacs Avenue, okay, regarding the permission request for the shed, I move the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with Section 42-7.6 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood given the popularity of sheds in that particular area. If approved, the motion must include an application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And as we've discussed, additional evergreen plantings will be required to screen the shed from public view 365 days a year and must meet or exceed the height of the structure at the time of the planting, not including blocking your entrance to the shed.
Support.
I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
So calling item number 4, 1205 Linebach.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening. I'm more or less the same as her. I have an old playscape in my backyard that I had to tear down because it was falling down, and I want to put a shed in its spot. I will meet all your setbacks as far as 16 feet off the back wall, my 16 feet off the side wall. So it would be more or less in the middle of my backyard where the yellow is. I'm looking forward to try and do this in the next couple of months. I will meet all your, if you want me to put evergreens around, I can do that. If you look where the gate is, that gate is almost 80 to 100 feet back from where the edge of the shed is. And that's a 4-foot high cyclone fence, and it's another 50 feet to get to the roadway, and with lots of heavy, heavy trees. So if I don't have to plant the arborvitae's or anything, I would prefer to do that. But other than that, all I'm asking for is to be able to put that in.
Do we have any questions from the board?
So when the trees that you're referring to shed their leaves, then would they be able to see the shed at that point?
I suppose they could at that point, but that's only during the winter months. And then on top of that, in my neighborhood, we have multiple sheds there. I know it's grandfathered in, they're exposed, but it's the only angle anyone can see it. And then behind that shed, my neighbor's garage is literally on my property line, and it's bigger than that, and you can see that. So my
So-
shed,
We only require you to screen areas
I'd
that
be
would
glad.
be, in view when,
Correct.
the deciduous trees have dropped their leaves and stuff like that. If you could at least do that just to the height of the shed.
I'd be glad to do
at the
that.
time of
That's
its
what-
installation.
That's what you require. Would it be okay if I turn around and did it along the fence line? That way it covers more of my backyard, keeps more of my backyard?
That's entirely up to you.
Entirely up to me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be glad to do that.
Your landscaping would be reviewed as part of the permit process.
Yeah.
So can I go back to because when I talked to the staff, we talked about the 3 lots.
And now I think I recall that we spoke at the counter, and
I've
I
actually-
remember now, go ahead.
I've actually turned around and requested them to combine all
Yeah.
the lots together.
Thank you.
Because that one lot that's at the top side of the page, that's only 32 feet wide. It's only, so you can, the only thing you could put in that lot would be, and right now I have my garages in it, the only thing you could put in there, it'd be a fence. That's the only thing. So it's totally unusable property, and as you see, my neighbor's garage is right there on the north side of it. Or not the north side, it'd be the east side of it.
So you're
Right on the property line.
you're going to combine the 3 lots?
I've already requested the township to do so.
Correct.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. You could mention it in the motion if you so choose. That would be a condition that the lots are joined, just to make sure that we have it on record.
Yeah, I think we ought to put that in,
Yeah.
just because his request wouldn't be feasible unless that was 1 lot.
I've already requested, it's actually four lots.
4 lots, okay.
Yeah, but I've already requested that. I actually got a letter in the mail for them
Oh, good.
already that say, so I'm trying to
Good
get
for
that
you.
part done.
All right, I'll open this to the public. Anyone like to comment on this? So I'll close it, bring it back for
Mr.
a
Chairman, I'll
motion.
make a motion.
Please do, Ed.
Okay, regarding the appeal at 1205 Linebach Avenue, the permission request for the shed, I move that the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with Section 42-76 standards because, once again, the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood, given the popularity of sheds in that particular area. Now, I'm going to make this motion with the understanding that all 3 lots are going to be combined as a result. Also, application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And as we agreed, you'll be putting evergreen plantings along any areas where your neighbors might be able to see the shed, let's say during the wintertime and stuff like that. We just need to make sure that it's screened from public view 365 days a year.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your
Thank
request
you.
is granted. I think I can take a recess, but if you have to leave. Okay. Do you anticipate?
I'll anticipate coming back.
Okay. So calling the next item, 3431 Devonbrook.
Good evening. My name is Anita, 3431 Devonbrook Drive. I'm here for approval for my invisible fence for my dog, German Shepherd.
Okay. Could you tell us, because typically we don't.
16 feet front yard and 25 feet backyard, but it's a big property.
But what about on the sides there?
Everywhere it's invisible fence.
No. It's encroaching into the 16-foot side yard setbacks. Yeah. So typically, we don't like the invisible fence to be right up against the property line. So would it be possible to move it back?
I'm not sure about
Okay, well, think about that.
it. Okay.
And I'll open this to the public. Does anyone like to speak on this item?
Hello, Board. My name is Oscar Garner. I reside at 3415 Barland Lane. You go back to, at the picture, so my home, the front yard is to the back side of my house. So if you cross the road, that is the back side of my house. First and foremost, the issue I have with the invisible fence is stated in the ordinance that under section 826, any person owning or possession or harboring a dog shall not permit the dog to be confined or restrained in any manner, anywhere on the lot or parcel except within the rear yard in any area setback such and such and such. This is stated 3 times in the ordinance in section 827 as well, under section B as far as invisible fencing, that that should be maintained or installed within the rear yard. The reason why I oppose to this is because, again, when I have company, for example, we're in the backyard and the people see the dog out front, and the question becomes, is he going to come over here? That's first and foremost. The second concern I have with this request is we've already had an Amazon delivery driver bitten by this dog last summer. So that is also a concern.
Did he get through the fence?
I'm not sure if he got through the fence. Maybe I don't think he got through the fence, but I don't know. He may have been out, but I don't think the delivery driver knew that there was a dog in the yard. So the delivery driver went. So but again, the dog did bite someone. Another concern I have with this request is another ordinance as it relates to Section 8.24 that says no person shall own or possess or harbor any dog by which loud, frequent, habitual barking, yelping, or howling becomes a nuisance to occupiers of the property. And I have made multiple calls to not only the police department, which I know they can't do nothing, they just come out, but I've made calls to animal control as well, because the dog is out in the front barking all times of 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, at night, 5 o'clock in the morning. And again, this butts up to, this is across the street from the backside of my home. I recently planted 10 green giants, they're babies now, to provide me a privacy fence, which to kind of like, to not have to see that, but at the same time, last thing I'll leave with this, it also states that you must have approval from the board to install an invisible fence. So clearly, this invisible fence was installed without approval from the board. So with all the information that I just shared, I ask that the board deny this approval. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir, before you leave, where is your home on this?
So it's right this.
3415?
Yes, 3415.
Okay, I see.
Right here, yes. So this is where the dog is out front. That's up to my yard. This is the back side of my home. So, and clearly, like I said, right across, so I just planted the tree, but right across here is the back side of my home.
Thank you.
3415 right there.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this item? All right, I'll close public hearing and let the applicant respond.
First of all, the dog stay the most of the time, he stays inside the house. Only he get out when he needs to use the bathroom, when he needs to do whatever he has to do. We go outside, it's a big yard, we play with him. The dog is very safe, very friendly. We did have 4 or 5 times breaking in our home. We did have 4 or 5 times breaking our cars in the front. The dog is not outside a lot, only when he goes and play and when he needs to get outside.
Do you know what the size of your lot is?
1 hectare.
1 acre? Okay, so he's got almost a whole acre there.
Yes, in the
So
back, yes.
It just seems like there's a lot of opportunity to move that in and address, and really comply with the ordinance. So you'd have to have it in your backyard within the setbacks. I think that'd be the only thing I'd be able to approve, because I don't don't see a practical difficulty or a hardship for you to, I realize you have a big dog, but you have a pretty big lot there that you have a lot of space. And you just said he just kind of, it's in the house a lot, and you just use it to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
So wouldn't that give him enough?
But whatever you decide, but to me.
I like that, that's good.
To me, I think
Cooperative.
that he's very protective dog, very safe dog, and we have a sign in the front of the home, beware of the dog.
Well,
and-
I know that, but we have an ordinance, right?
Okay.
So we want people to feel safe in their own homes as well, and the purpose behind this ordinance is really designed that way. So in general, you know, we do, there's some latitude with this, but you have enough property there to comply with our ordinance so that you don't need a variance. And you seem to being agree with me because you do.
I really don't have a choice. I think whatever is right now, to
Okay.
my opinion, it's good, and
All right.
I don't have any problem, but like I said, I have to do whatever you guys
Because I think that's what the
decide.
motion, I mean, I can't make the motion, but I think that's, am I speaking for everybody here? I don't, if you have contrary, go ahead.
Yeah, my wife and I, we're dog lovers. We have a dog. Our dog is extremely protective of my wife. So as soon as anybody starts to approach our property, it will just start barking like crazy.
Exactly.
And because of that, we've been forced into a situation where we simply cannot let the dog go out anywhere where she might come in contact with people unless she's on a leash. So because we don't want her biting the Amazon guy because the dog thinks that the Amazon guy is trying to steal her mom or anything like that. So we need to come up with a solution that allows you to enjoy the dog and allow the dog to be safe, but also to allow visitors to your property like the Amazon people and your neighbors to be safe as well. So whatever we come up with, we're going to try and come up with a solution that accomplishes that. So you're taken care of, your dog is safe, and your neighbors and people who might be visiting your property are safe as well.
Okay.
So can we get a motion now that puts it in the backyard and puts it within the setbacks, or, that's my suggestion, or?
Well, this
I
is
do.
also in the front as well, right? You're looking for.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
front
saying, you pull it, it's got to pull it back.
Within all of the setbacks, front, side.
Well,
clear.
again, I can't make the motion.
No,
I'm
but I
just-
mean,
I'm-
that's
I'm-
what you're I
I'm
just
giving
wanna
you
make sure
some
that-
principles, I think that would, because it's a big lot, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying.
Well, I think, you know, that considering, and then also considering that it's a very
Listen
protective
to
dog.
what the neighbor
so-
said, and,
Exactly.
okay.
So, all right.
So do you understand what we're saying? Okay. And
Okay.
Staff up, okay.
I'm happy to make the motion unless you,
Oh,
or do
go
you, no,
right
go ahead. I mean, looks like you're getting ready.
Well, because I didn't think anyone else
Go
was,
ahead,
but,
go ahead.
This
okay, well, then I will.
this is the moment that we've been
I know,
waiting
this
for,
is juicy. Okay.
building
Well,
up.
we got a great crowd tonight.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll start with the, in regards to the motion, I'll start with the permission request first. In regards to the appeal at 3431 Devon Brook Drive, for the permission structure for a invisible dog fence. I move that the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented with some modifications, which I'll also put in my motion. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the, let's see, the accessory structure shall not be objectionable to nearby residents because the applicant has agreed to make some modifications to put the invisible fence within the required setbacks on all sides of the property, front, back, front, rear, and the sides of that. And because of that, it will require, will actually allow for the neighbors, residents, anyone visiting the property to feel a little bit more safe. In terms of the dimensional variances, at the same property at 3431 Devon Brook Drive.
If you made that motion, you don't need that, according to.
I don't?
Because there's no setback variances now.
Ah, there's no setbacks. Okay, well, then that makes it really short and sweet. So with that said, if approved, the motion also includes applications for all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days because it is an existing fence. And that is the motion.
Support.
So I have a motion and support. Any discussion?
So that essentially is with the dog fence being in the backyard, not encroaching upon any of the setbacks.
Correct. Does everybody understand the motion?
The staff got that? Enforcement, is that good for enforcement?
Yeah.
All right,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
Not part of the motion, but just neighborly advice to the applicant. Being a fellow dog owner, once again, once you've got this fence set up, it's probably a good time to have the training once again and make sure they've got the right setting so the dog is getting alerts early enough in the process that the dog can't get hurt and other people can't get hurt as well. We've had to do that 2 or 3 times before the dog finally got the hang of it, so.
Thank you.
That's a good
Good
suggestion.
advice.
Okay, so I think this is all still part of the discussion of the motion, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so now, all those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations. As modified, your request is granted. So if you have any questions about what you have to do, see the staff.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 67318, Lindenmere.
Good evening. My name is Megan LeGroux. This is my husband Rob, and we're the homeowners at 7318 Lindenmere Drive. We're here to respectfully request the zoning board allows a variance for our existing chickens and for permission for the existing accessory structure of a chicken coop with enclosure on our property. We've raised these 4 chickens since April of 2024 from chicks, and they are our named pets who produce eggs for us. They are not meat chickens. When we purchased the chickens, we were under the impression that the recent court decision had sided with the Bloomfield Township resident in our right to have chickens, in addition to the Michigan Right to Farm Act. So we thought we were in the safe zone as far as chickens being allowed. We did not know that the Deasman decision had been appealed until we received this letter from the township. So again, we're seeking permission for a small wood and metal chicken coop. It has an existing surrounding metal enclosure that is 13 by 10 foot by 72 in height. Basically, it's a chicken wire and metal structure that surrounds the coop. And the 4 chickens that are housed therein, neither the coop nor the fence enclosure are implemented in the ground. They're not permanently installed, and they're easily and frequently moved. To ensure no negative impact on the neighboring properties, the coop is predator-proof and built with high-quality materials which match the aesthetic of our residents. The enclosure is painted a muted green color to blend in. All items are located in the rear yard behind the home and over 16 feet from any property lines. There is no rooster. The coop is cleaned daily to prevent odors. The feed is stored in rodent-proof containers, and the girls are generally quiet than an average dog. There is currently sufficient 12-month evergreen screen along the entire back property line. We've put down a deposit with the landscape company to plant the rest. I believe I submitted my landscape plan a bit too late, but on the whole left side of the property line, even with the house, we'll be planting 10 pine trees. Again, the back property line is completely evergreen now. And the right-hand side, between the garden fence and the property line, will be arborvitaes. In my application, I did submit letters of support from 2 directly next to us neighbors, as well as support from our neighborhood association. Thank you for your consideration.
Do we have any questions from the board? So one of the things you said sometimes the chicken coop moves? You move it around?
Yes.
So why would you do that? And where do you move it?
So we, in the past, had a playground structure, so there was kind of a large landscaped oval in the middle of our yard that was not grass, and the coop is moved within that circle just to give them fresh grass. They really like to peck for bugs in the grass. So they're never free range in the yard. They're always in that enclosure, and the enclosure just moves around. Because we move that enclosure around, planting arborvitaes right around that doesn't really make sense. It would be like an oval of hedges in the middle of your yard, which is why we were planting on the side property lines.
So how big is the enclosure? So you said it's an oval? So it looks like a-
Well, that's just like,
The actual metal, like, so there's like a little, it almost looks like a doghouse in there that they go in overnight. It's
Yep.
only like this tall. And then obviously that metal structure is hard to tell, but it's about 6 feet tall at the very peak. And then I forget you got
so
the,
the oval we're talking about is just the bark chips there.
you see the bark chips? It's just an area we had bark chipped with our old street.
I see.
So we always keep the chicken coop within that area
I
because
see.
obviously.
So it's not a barrier, it's just.
There's no
yeah,
barrier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right, any other questions?
So how much are you moving at any one time, moving the coop? What do you say, just like a few feet or?
Yeah, right, it's just
Yeah.
moving like, I mean, there's.
No, it's a little more. It might be like 6 to 8 feet over to the side, just so.
Yeah.
Well, usually just, we move it, and then wherever we moved it from, we just plant grass. We just throw some seeds down, and then in a few weeks, the seeds sprout, and then we just move it, plant grass over. And they're always, it's all kept within that enclosure, so we're never moving it anywhere like on the grassy part of our yard where, like our, visitors would walk or anything, unless they're like within that kind of, it's just cedar edged.
So this is just part of the care of the chickens?
Yeah,
just
they
part of
like
it.
grass,
I
they
get-
dig up the dirt, they dig up the grass till it's dirt, and then we move it to fresh grass. But all within that small bark chip oval, basically.
Could you tell me a little bit more about where your landscaping, your plan is to
Yeah,
landscape?
I have a
So-
paper copy.
well, So if you look at like this view, so you can see our neighbor's house right there, and there's like a little white, we have a little white garden fence.
Okay.
So there would be arbor vitae that would completely block both our view of her house and her view of the chicken coop. I don't know what that is, but.
Here to the west.
Yeah, the front is like the bottom right. So there's gonna be 2 plantings. One's gonna be arbor vitae where you can see it's like next to the garden fence. And then the other side, we're just gonna plant evergreen trees that'll kind of match the aesthetic of like the rest of the neighborhood. So
They're 6 foot.
you really shouldn't be
evergreens.
able to see it at all from any view. I know one of our neighbors, we've got some neighbors here, but we've got one of the neighbors to the back. We had the chickens for like 2 years and he didn't even know.
So the picture that you showed with the picket fence, that's your garden fence, and
Yeah.
that's on the top right side of this diagram, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you're planting there, and then you're also planting, I'm assuming, the opposite side as you've shown here.
Yeah.
And it appears that you have quite a lot of screening in the back lot line.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a wall of existing
It's
pine
just
trees.
a wall of pine trees.
What is it? What is it?
It's just a wall of pine
yeah,
trees. It's like
pine.
old pine trees.
Thank you.
So I'm just wondering in my mind, so that we've got a permission request. I guess this is an accessory structure, but it's movable. Right, but it's movable. So typically, we approve accessory structures for a location. So if they can move it.
So we didn't, we thought that we were in the right. The court decision had allowed for the chickens, and because it was not cemented in the ground, we didn't think it counted as an accessory structure.
I believe there was another instance where we had something similar. I don't know if anybody else recalls that. Andrew's not in your head. It
Yes.
seems to me there's another situation very similar.
In this- yeah.
I suppose there would, I guess if there was, first of all, we'd hear from the public, hear from the neighbors. And maybe that might help guide the decision
Yeah.
from the
I
board.
mean, the
No,
only
I'm
other
just-
thing I would say is like, these are definitely pets for us. I mean, we have named them all Schitt's Creek character names. And, I know Megan really cares about, pets are really important to us just as much as they would be the dog. So we're willing to do, like, we already submitted a landscape plan, and I'm happy to hear from our neighbors. We're willing to do other changes if we need to make sure that everyone's comfortable with the chickens, so.
Okay, let's,
The neighborhood association and us has had no complaints. All the neighbors have been extremely supportive and offered to help care for the chickens when we were out of town, and we've had nothing but support so far.
Yeah, we did see some of the correspondence on that.
Thank you.
all right, I'll open this up to the public. If anyone would like to speak on this item?
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Flieger. This is my husband, David. We live on the adjoining back property, 4849 Q Court. Requesting a chicken coop and an enclosure, so 4849, just right there. When the chickens were first introduced approximately 2 years ago, the owner invited me to see them and gave me a dozen eggs. At the time, I thought the chickens were interesting and had no reason to believe they'd create a significant impact on neighboring properties. However, after living with them for 2 years, we've had firsthand experience with the effect the chickens have on our property and our ability to peacefully enjoy our home. My primary concern is the ongoing noise generated by the chickens. They vocalize throughout the day, beginning in the morning as early as 6 o'clock and continue until the evening about sundown. Based on our experience over the 2 years, the chickens can be heard from inside our home, even when doors and windows are closed. They can also be heard in rooms located on the side of our house, furthest from the chickens in the backyard. The fact that the noise can be heard throughout the home demonstrates the impact extends beyond simply enjoying our backyard. I've brought a video recording with audio that demonstrates the nature and frequency of the noise. Would you like to hear it? So this is from my office that faces the backyard. April 20th, 12:30 in the afternoon. I was working, I had the window open. Here. Hold on. Whoops.
They're really loud, trust us.
Yeah, hold on, let me see, how can we fix this? Oh, here we go.
And that is from inside the house.
This is with the window open, but that's the kind of noise we hear throughout the day.
And we
Every
can't
day.
enjoy our outdoors peacefully. Things are going.
Here, let me stop that. I understand that the applicant is proposing to relocate the coop farther from the property line, about 20 feet from the property line. However, we respectively submit that the location of the coop is not the primary issue. The impact on neighboring properties come from the chickens themselves and the noise they generate throughout the day. As the adjacent property owner whose residence is closest to the chickens and the coop, our family experiences the most direct impact from their noise. While other neighbors may have different experiences depending on their distance from the coop, we can speak from firsthand experience the effect on our property. Moving the coop from one location to another may increase setback distance, but it doesn't eliminate the source of the noise. We respectfully ask the board to consider not only whether the proposed location satisfies dimensional requirements, but also the practical effect this use has on neighboring properties. After 2 years of living next to the chickens, our experience has been that the noise generated by the chickens adversely affects our ability to enjoy our home. As the neighboring residents closest to the chickens in the coop, our family experiences the most direct impact from that activity. I believe that impact should be carefully weighed when determining whether the use is appropriate for this location. I want to emphasize this is not a personal issue with our neighbor. When the chickens were first introduced, we had no reason to believe they would significantly impact the property. However, living next to them for 2 years, we now know that there's daily noise that impacts the pleasure we get from living at our property. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this item?
Good evening, dear board members. My name is Jerome. I live right on the west side on 7332 Lindenmere Drive. I'm here to speak in support of my neighbors, Megan and Rob. We've been living next to this chicken coop for the past 2 years. We are quite close from the chicken coop, and it's never been a problem. I don't hear them from inside. Yes, when we are outside on our backyard, we can hear them. It's not an issue. It's a very small noise, and I can tell you that dogs around are much more loud and much more an issue. And there's no odor. My neighbors keep a clean and secure coop. I've never seen them wandering around. So those chickens are here for the past 2 years, and they were here when we bought the house. We never thought that it would be an issue, and it was confirmed that in the past 2 years it has never been an issue for us. So That's our point of view.
Thank you very much.
What was your address, sir?
7332, so on the west side.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to make one more comment.
You can't.
Okay.
Yep, you get one
Okay.
microphone. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak? All right, I'll close the public hearing. I'll let all the public can please
Can I
sit,
respond to
and then the applicant can respond.
Sorry, I'm kind of shocked. That's news to me. They never mentioned to us any concern about the noise. The chickens do balk, which you heard, when they're laying an egg. It usually is quite short, and it's a shorter and quieter in sound, I think, than many of the neighborhood dogs barking in our neighborhood. So, again, I'm very surprised.
And I'm really sorry to hear that you guys were disrupted at all. I mean, was never our intention to disrupt you. I know, we've been neighbors the whole time we've lived there.
You just direct your comments.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely, so the chickens definitely are allowed when they lay eggs. They lay 1 to 0 a day. So there's definitely some times in the afternoon where I'm sure that was a chicken egg laying sound. I mean, we generally let them out of the coop a little bit after sunrise. So it's usually about 7, and then they're back in the coop at dusk where they're pretty much contained. So I'm more than willing to put up an extra layer of trees or something to try to mitigate the sound to our neighbors no matter what happens. But I'm still hoping you consider our request.
How many chickens do you have again?
4.
4?
What's the life expectancy of the chickens, out of curiosity?
Well, if we keep them away from the hawks.
Yeah.
then
Which we do. I believe it's 4 to 5 years.
And I would assume if you need to, you're going to replace them? Like if something
At the end of their lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Probably.
we enjoy having them as pets. Again, most of the neighbors have been very in favor. The eggs are delicious. It's a fun hobby that we can do in our property.
Usually we wouldn't introduce new chickens to the we don't have obviously a big farm, so we would probably not get new chickens until, the current ones mostly passed away because it's just different ages of
But
chickens.
you'd replace them, right?
You could, if we
Yeah.
decided to,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I,
Right.
I personally love the chicken sounds. I think it's a really unique sound, just as much as the squirrels chattering in our backyard, which are louder than the chickens.
Or the
dogs,
turkeys.
Or the turkeys.
So is there anything else you'd like to say before we begin our deliberation?
No, sir.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. All right, how does everybody feel about the chickens?
It's hard to say that there's no injustice to any of the adjoining neighbors. Unfortunately, I feel that that's
So,
unfortunate.
I kind of feel the same way, only I didn't know they made noise every time they laid an egg. I thought that was just in the movies and not cartoons, but.
Is that all afternoon, or is it 1 hour of the day?
Right, and if it's early in the morning or late at night, or if it's daily.
I mean, if it's all day long, that's a different story, but if it's 1 hour or 2 hours, that's.
But then again, it depends on the time of day. I mean, if it's even 1 hour, but at 7 a.m.,
Right.
you know what I mean?
I agree.
so this is very difficult. So, I've been on the zoning board a long time. We have a number of different people that have requested chickens, and at least the ones that I voted for have been on much larger parcels. So I can remember there was somebody on 5 acres, because the variance is a deviation from 40 acres, and then and now we're, down to somebody that's 0.57. So that's a real difficult thing for me to look at and say it's okay, for all the reasons the neighbor said, and there could be somebody else that moves in that doesn't like it. So because of the size of the lot, I don't think I can vote for this.
Well, yeah, because of the small.
And I think there've been other instances, where at least I've been consistent in voting. I don't know that we've always gone as a group this way, but it requires a larger piece of property.
Well, because that allows
Would
you,
mitigate.
affords the ability to have a lot more, you don't have adjacent neighbors so close.
They're more
And
distant,
so,
yeah. They've been in more, secluded areas of the township, so.
And it doesn't give you a lot of options to move it around either.
And I know, I mean, people enjoy them. You know, we've had kids, 4-H clubs come in. There's a lot of benefits to chickens. There's data that people try to compare chickens with dogs. But I'm just looking at the ordinance, and that's what the ordinance says. And I couldn't vote for it because of the size of the lot.
And historically, has there been any other sound mitigation proposals for this type of thing?
Not that I'm aware of that have worked. I mean, the best sound mitigation is the distance.
Yeah.
Or seclusion, or.
Right, or if it, I mean, because they have an open shelter for them, if it was maybe solid structure, which you wouldn't want to do that with the chickens, I would think, so.
Yeah, as I stated, we're dog owners, and, Mrs. Ford, she likes peace and quiet, and she makes sure the dog is staying quiet, and I know if we had chickens next door, she'd be asking me to come down to the township and complain, so. Whether I wanted to or not, I'd have to come down and complain, so, yeah.
It's not easy, I'm
Oh.
gonna get there.
Yeah.
So many puns I could make.
I mean, I love the hobby, and
Just gonna refrain.
my grandma had chickens. I love visiting her and seeing the chickens, but I just can't imagine it in such a small space next to neighbors. She had like 25 acres of property. So.
It's a tough one, because chickens are very popular now.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I realize, I understand people.
And I would
want
love
them.
for eggs, you know.
But, I mean, I don't know if you guys feel differently, but the size of the lot to be, and you have
And
some
we have a-
testimony from a neighbor
Right.
about the negative impact. And then, I'll just say as a lawyer, that the recording, there's all sorts of problems with that. Is a piece of, is it turned up too loud? When was it taken? The frequency of it. So that, you kind of have to set aside. So it's really not based on that sound, but really the size of the lot and the size of the variance we're given. And then really, to me, the feedback or the testimony that we got from the neighbors about it.
Right.
I
well,
agree
and
with
then
that, because
there
the
was-
other ones that we have approved have been on larger lots.
And there was also, even with the recording, and I understand that, but there was also another neighbor who was in support of the chicken, but also said that they are aware of the sound. I mean, they don't have a problem with it, they don't object to it,
Well,
but it also endorsed that they
But-
are making
right.
noise.
But again, there are things that, there are uses that people have, basketball courts, pickle court, that generate sound. So that alone, to me, it's the size of it. So it's a farm activity. We have a permitted size, sound being one of the reasons, but not determinative, that we prefer for a number of reasons, and that's why I couldn't vote for it.
I'll presume, just as to the sound thing, assuming that, yeah, they do make that noise when they lay eggs, whether it be once or to 0 a day. I don't know if that's any different than a dog barking, a little barking fit for a little bit.
Well, we have
Once a
had
day.
people that come in and shown data on that,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at the ordinance that we're asked to enforce. I'm looking at the size of the variance, and for that reason, I couldn't vote for it.
Well, Mr. Chair, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay?
Okay, so this is going to be a motion to deny the permission request in regard to the appeal at 7318 Lindemere Drive. For the accessory structure, I move that the request be denied based on the information presented. The applicant did not demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards due to the size of the accessory structure is not compatible with adjoining properties based on the size of the lot. So, here, let me move over to, do we have verbiage if denied?
I think if you deny, you'll have to rely on your green sheet,
Okay, sorry.
and you'd have to definitely specify all the reasons at the bottom of that green sheet.
Okay, even though we're just talking about the permission request, because if we deny the permission,
Well,
But we're talking
go-
about the dimensional variance to 40
right,
acres, so
yes,
I
okay,
think that's,
you're right.
I think that's a better approach
I
to the
agree.
motion,
Okay,
better structure.
so I move the variance be denied as requested based on the information presented. The applicant did not demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome due to the size of the lot. There would be injustice to adjoining neighbors by reason that it is not consistent with our other homes in the area, and again, is not something that is typically placed on a lot this size. No unique circumstances with the property have been given, And as a result, this is self-created due to the fact that the size of the lot does not allow enough space for something that is typically a farming activity.
Support.
Motion and support discussion. So I'll just say the permission request relates to the coop itself, and then the dimensional variance relates to the chicken, so. All right, so all in favor of the motion to deny the request, say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay. I oppose.
You're opposed? Okay, so let's do a roll call.
I just want to verify, I'm sorry, asking the motion maker if there's a time, if there was a discussion regarding a time frame for ordinance enforcement, for removal. Usually there's a,
What is typical for something like this?
I would say 60 to 90 days.
Okay, well, let's say 60 days from the,
Approval of the minutes?
So that ended up being 90.
Amended motion.
Thank you.
Okay.
Roll call. So this is a motion to deny O'Donnell,
yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Giagrande,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Hoskowitz?
Oskowitz.
Nay, no.
Okay, so the motion passes 4-1.
So I'm sorry, your request is denied. So calling next item, item 7.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Moore. I'm with Zaremba & Company, landscape architect, representing homeowners John and Linda Lesway at the address of 193 Wadsworth Lane. And tonight, we've got 2 requests before the board. One is a permission request for an outdoor masonry fireplace located in the rear outdoor living area. And the second is a dimensional variance for the proposed front entrance columns. Both requests are part of a comprehensive residential landscape and architectural improvement project that has been carefully designed to complement the existing home and preserve the character of the surrounding neighborhood. We'll start with the permission request. This is a gas fireplace. The architectural materials will match the home. A lot of the details pick up on the language of the European traditional transitional architecture. We do end it with a column that's similar to the other details that are on wing walls of the house. Traditional brick materials, the limestone detailing, the caps also are consistent with other architectural features on the house. We are planning to do significant screening. We are at the 14-foot high for the maximum height of the structure itself within the ordinance. It is located 16 feet from the property line, and then the wing wall or garden wall connects to the corner of the home. That's a 3-foot garden wall, and then the column at the end is 4 feet. And so that's our permission request for that item. And then our second item we have 2 little architectural columns that in the ordinance you need to stay, there's a request to stay within 10 feet, and based on the existing porch architecture, we're trying to line up those entry columns with the porch architectural columns so that it creates this garden court. It's proportionate to scale. We're going to add containers or flowers on top, so it's an architectural element as you enter into the home.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the board?
I noticed in the pictures that the screening didn't go to the top of the fire column. Is that how it's going to look? Or you're anticipating that the coverage is not going to go to the top of the fireplace?
Our goal, so that there's an existing hedge in the backyard that we're trying to reuse, and it's about 10. They're about 10 feet tall. If we need to swap those out in the middle section to meet that full height, we have no problem doing that
I mean,
as well.
is it a safety issue or anything like that to do with, okay, thank you.
Is the wall that's attached to that 3 feet or 4 feet?
It's a 3-foot wall, but then the column at the end is 4 feet.
What was the safety issue associated with lowering the height
Of the
The
chimney?
safety issue?
of the chimney? Because did I hear that there was a safety issue with the fact that it had to be 14 feet? I mean, since you've already got a hedge that does the trick, is there any reason why you couldn't just lower the height so that you've got it covered and you don't have to worry about that?
Well, we were trying to match some of the existing kind of language of the architecture. If you look at the house, there's a subtle swoop on the wing walls of the home. And so architecturally and proportionally, we are working within that 14 feet. But we'd be happy to extend the height of the hedge to screen that as needed.
Because our screening says that, okay, so the height of the screening has to be the height of the structure at the time of planting. So if that's something that you can do,
We can do that.
okay.
Any other questions of the applicant? I'll open this to the public. Who would like to comment on this?
Good evening. I'm Chuck Sally. I live at 376 Westbourne. I'm also the chair of the Homeowners Association for Westbourne, Westchester Village. We didn't get plans ahead of this meeting, but I'm making an observation, a couple of observations here that would be hopefully useful in the discussion about variances. Number one, if you look at that plan, there's an awful lot of structure, concrete, patio, whatever, that we believe contributes to lot coverage, even though the current dimensions in the township don't have that same view. This particular piece of property has had an experience of water shifting to adjacent properties, just based on the way it's been graded in the past and the way it sits. So there's some water issues that are not addressed in this particular request for a variance, but should be addressed in the building permit if that's the right process. I guess I'm sort of asking a question. Is that the right process, or is that something we should raise before this zoning board?
I mean, whether the township engineers have addressed water runoff and drainage?
Well, whether that will be adequately addressed by the review and the building permit process.
It is. That's part of the,
Well, I just want to comment because the photograph that I'm looking at, if you can go to the photo, Tom, of the request, I'm just speaking to the request right now. The photograph, yeah, sorry. It appears, there you go, on the bottom right, it appears, and this would maybe an answer for a question on behalf of the applicant, it looks like it's being located on the patio, within the patio. So if there's any history of drainage or concerns with this property, that would be something that we could look into in our department. However, I'm not sure that this particular request would be reviewed for any sort of drainage concerns based on the proposal.
yeah, and so, my answer more correctly would have said at the time all that patio and everything was put in, there would have been a drainage plan that was required. This is just a replacement of an existing fireplace that's there. So it's not adding to the.
So that picture depicts the way it's going to be built or the way it exists now?
That's the way it exists now.
That's the way it is now, so, but it's showing the fireplace location. So, because I was confused with this morning, but see the fireplace that's there, it's going to be replaced by this fireplace that has the taller
So they're
top.
building a bigger fireplace to replace a smaller fireplace. Is that what's happening?
Yes.
And so your question is, before the board, is 14 feet the right height for that new fireplace? Is that the thing that's before the board?
Well, that is one of the things that we would consider, the height of it, yes.
So my question, along with what the board asked earlier, is there any need for that to be 14 feet high and 5 feet above the existing screening? Or do we have to replace all the screening with much taller screening than currently exists?
Well, the height fits in, the ordinance, but what you're saying is from the screening perspective, correct?
Right, so is your request or your feedback is that you'd like it to be completely screened?
Well, my request is that you deny the request, because I think that it's a frivolous request for a 14-foot high fireplace but that's not you're the ones who have to resolve that. My concern is the next stage of the water issue that has been experienced on that property. There's way too much stuff on that lot that is imperiously.
So we're not addressing what's on the lot?
You answered my question, you're right.
You can certainly reach out to our department, the Planning, Building, and Ordinance Department, and we'd be happy to sit down and go over the plan with you if
Yeah,
there's any questions.
my request is to do a double secure review of the site plan to make sure that this is not going to contribute to the water runoff that's been experienced in the past.
Okay.
That's the only legitimate request, other than to challenge the need for a 14-foot high, which I hope you guys will take into consideration.
Thank you for your feedback. Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this?
My name is Mike Smith. I live at 3571 Berkshire Drive, and I am a member of the Architectural Control Committee as well. Now, this is not the first time we have dealt with this family. So they can't say they don't know that there is an architectural control committee or a homeowners association, because we have had a situation with them in the past. And that was at the time the house was being built. And it had to do with the height of the house not coinciding with our criteria of the homeowners association. Now, for this project, they have not submitted any application, asked any questions, or even let us know they were planning on doing this. So again, they're sort of running afoul of the homeowners association, even though at one point in time, Mrs. Lesway wanted to be on the homeowners association. I can't understand the rationale of why this chimney needs to be 14 feet tall. That seems to be excessive, unless they can provide a good explanation as to why. But they have chosen, I guess, not to let the homeowners association know and the members of their community know that they are planning on doing this. So I would ask that the committee here give this due consideration based upon the fact that these homeowners have not made any attempt to go through the proper channels of the homeowners association, of which they are well aware of and have dealt with previously. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on this item? So I'll close the public hearing and let the applicant respond.
So in response, as you can see, it's an existing patio. We weren't involved with the existing patio or the existing structure. And so we were under the impression that it was like more of like a remove and replace type of application. And so happy to submit plans to the HOA as well. And I believe the homeowner was planning to do that as well. But wanted to get the two little columns in the front approved and then the reconstruction of the fireplace as part of this as well. So happy to work with the neighbors, no problem. And happy to go through the engineering process. We're working with Fenn Engineering. We are aware that there are some grading concerns that we fully intend to remedy as part of the project. So happy to have those plans reviewed by the engineering department. That's kind of our next step. Our first step was to go in front of the board to make sure we were all on the same page. Essentially, we worked within the ordinance and then designed the proportions based on a lot of architectural design. So it's in keeping with the house and the structure. We can certainly lower that by a couple feet and still have the proportions, I think, work very nicely. And then we would also, we're planning to reuse the existing hedge just because if you look at the pictures, it's pretty nice and we think we'd be able to transplant it fairly successfully. But noticing that that's the concern and recalling that, yep, we need to be to the height, that's no problem. We can get 14-foot plant material on day one. That's not a problem.
So you said you'd do either or, you'd lower the chimney or screen?
We can do both, right? We'll do the evergreen screening to the top of the top portion of the fireplace. We like the proportions and the design. I think we can maintain the aesthetic by lowering it up to 2 feet.
Okay. How's everybody feel about that? That seems reasonable.
That seems reasonable.
Fine art of compromising.
That seems reasonable to me.
Okay. So let's have a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll attempt to make a motion. If that's okay.
Please do.
Okay, in regard to the appeal at 193 Wadsworth Lane for the accessory structure, I move the request be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-76 because the location of the accessory structure will not hinder or discourage the adjacent use of the property due to it being screened. The accessory structure shall be harmonious to the neighborhood, given that there exists one now, and it's just a removal and replace. And based upon the compromise made by the applicant, I think it will be the size of the accessory structure is compatible with the adjoining
So I
properties.
think you need to put in the motion the height.
I'm sorry, the height. As amended, the height being, as applied for 14, I believe the applicant agreed 2 feet, so the maximum height of the chimney will be 12 feet, correct? And will be screened completely by evergreens. If this motion is approved, the application for all necessary permits and must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And as we mentioned, additional evergreens or modified evergreen plantings may be required to screen the fireplace from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the structure at the time of planting, again, that being 12 feet.
Support.
So I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is modified, is granted. Calling item 802 Shady Hollow.
Lynn Kavanaugh with Four Seasons Garden Center Custom Landscape Services, representing Rochelle Yang and Andre Ika. at 802 Shady Hollow Circle.
And what is the request?
Well, the request is to replace an existing timber wall that is holding up the backside of their drive. So from the front of the house, you can't even see it, it's at grade. But the back of the house, you can see it. Do you have pictures of what the existing I submitted? So that's it right there, the view to the south. If you see that old timber wall, that is failing, and it has steps and is failing. The area is very heavily wooded, and on that view to the south, there's like a wing wall of timbers that goes all the way out. So that part is also screened from the neighbors. We'll be taking that down a little bit, trying to make it a more gentler slope. Their insurance company requested them to do something about it.
Are they
So
paying
this,
for it?
huh?
Are they paying for it?
Yeah, no. Well, so this is the most minimal footprint we could use. The area is very restrictive. The flat area of the yard, you can see how it's starting to slope. So by doing these two-tiered walls was the most secure way that we could do it, sound way we could do it, but yet make the least amount of impact.
What material are you planning to use?
It's a brick paver interlocking bricks.
Will it change any of the drainage?
No.
Thank you.
Are you planning on, with this rendering, are you planning on putting some kind of screening or ornamental on top of it, or?
Well, the homeowners are planning to do plantings on top of it. Like I said, from the street view, if you look at the picture from the street view, looking up their drive is off to the side there. Those arborvitaes are on the arborvitae are on the side, so you can't even see the wall it's below the drive. And the back area is all wooded.
Yeah, so it's supporting that slope away.
It is,
from the
it's supporting the end of the drive.
end of the driveway. Yeah. Okay. I'll open this to the public. Anyone would like to comment?
Good evening. My name is Amy Garrett. I'm here on behalf of the HOA of Nantucket Green, and we're in favor of the retaining wall modifications, no issue with that at all. But if you'll see the accessory structure, which was constructed, we believe in 2022, it is now in disrepair. As a board, we've gotten a lot of complaints about this property, about the accessory structure, as well as a few years ago, they, looked to use some cinder blocks for landscaping in the front yard. So we talked with the homeowners and came to an agreement about the materials used. So we're just making sure the ordinances are followed, and maybe the accessory structure is addressed. The yard is generally in disrepair if it needs some help.
But the only thing we're deciding is the retaining wall. So you're pointing to something else in the picture there. Is it that metal structure that's in the back?
Yeah, and it's all part of the slope.
But we're not deciding about that tonight. The only thing we're deciding is the retaining wall.
But the ordinance department can respond to your concerns.
I'll address
We'll be in
it another
touch.
time. Thank you.
I'm sorry we're here the whole time to find that out. But
The neighborhood is begging me to do something about it.
Let me speak, can I speak
our
in
power-
regards to that? That is supposed to be removed before we start the project.
Oh.
The whole area is going to be cleaned up and resodded, so. With that, the front landscape, but on the other side where there's cinder blocks, those are being removed and the grade is being taken down so they can get a lawnmower there.
So normally we don't have conversations between people, but here's what I'm going to say. After we vote, maybe the two of you could talk and you
Sure.
could give her some. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to comment on this? So I'll close the public hearing. Why don't we have a,
And just a comment that the board could make it as part of their motion that that structure is removed as stated. And that would be something that could also be a response to the HOA's concern.
I don't know enough about what it is or why it's there, or, but.
It's a greenhouse.
Oh, it's a greenhouse, okay.
Well, I
But-
don't know if I would put that in
Yeah.
my motion, but.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
So, yeah, so you're saying it's an accessory structure that we don't have a variance for? I guess I'd rather not deal with it because I don't know.
Understood.
I don't know enough about it.
So
Understood.
include it, or?
I wouldn't, I don't feel comfortable including because I don't know enough about it, but it sounds like it's coming down anyway.
It's coming down
So-
before we show up.
So we
with
can
our
dodge, we can dodge the whole thing.
And you have some news to share.
We want to
Mr.
dodge
Chair,
it.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
So with regard to the appeal at 802 Shady Hollow Circle, for the dimensional variance requested for a 6-foot-high retaining wall and 2 retaining walls currently 3 feet, 3 inches apart. I move that this variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome due to the severe topography of the lot. There is no injustice to adjoining neighbors by the fact that this is essentially a very good replacement that's well needed. Unique circumstances with the property have been demonstrated, given once again that there's a severe sloping topography, and as a result, this is not self-created. So, if approved, the motion must include all application for all necessary permits to be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to construction. Additional evergreen plantings may be required to screen all retaining walls from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the walls at the time of planting. Yet I do understand this is in the backyard, and it sounds as though it is not in view of anybody else. And it does appear that they do have some sort of intention to plant something back there.
Support.
I have a motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, the request is granted. Calling item 9.
Good evening. I'm Mark Weisberg. This is Carolyn Krieger, my wife. We live at 377 Kendry. We are on the corner of Square Lake, Kendry, and Kendry. It's almost like being in Commerce, where you're at Commerce, Commerce, and Commerce. We've requested, well, first of all, when I went to get a permit to erect a fence along the Square Lake side from what we were understanding is the back of our property to in line with the house, we were told that a 4-foot fence just needed a permit. Except when I went to get the permit, they said, no, we're sorry, this is your front yard. And I was explained that we have 3 front yards. We have our front yard on Square Lake, we have our front yard where our door faces, and then we have our front yard that faces north on the other Kendry. So with our application, we decided, well, we'll just ask for a 6-foot fence instead of just the 4-foot fence that normally would be okay in the permit. So we're asking for a 6-foot fence to be erected. It's approximately 24 foot from Square Lake Road. So it is up the hill and away from Square Lake itself. And then I did some reconnaissance, if you will. There are several houses along Square Lake that all have the 6-foot fence. 2 houses that are just like ours that are on the corner of Square Lake and other streets that have the 6-foot fence, but they are only 2 feet from the white rail fence that's along Square Lake. This is the fence that we're requesting to put up. It's just your basic dog-eared fence. It'll run from the back of the property line to in line with the house, just as our existing fence is on our north side of our house. This is a picture of a house directly across Square Lake from us, and you can see there's not only just the white rail fence, but also the cyclone fence and a wooden fence.
And
the
there's
countries.
also, yeah, there's also one additional picture that I didn't see as part of that, but I can show you if need be, or if you'd like. It's, can't remember which street this is. It's one street over from, of Emery, that also has a, and theirs is a shadow box fence, you know, where the fences are opposite, or the rails are opposite of each other. Oh,
Oh, thanks.
and then this one here is about 1.5 feet off of the rail on Square Lake Road.
I think I can guess why you would want a 6-foot fence on that side, but I would love to hear your explanation.
What, I'm sorry?
I said I can probably anticipate why you would want a
6-foot
6-foot fence on the Square Lake side, but I was just curious to know what your
And then
rationale was.
I also have this picture. So this is a picture that's directly across the street that faces our house. You can't see them, but there are 2 small pieces of fencing that I did put up. They're just in the ground, so you wouldn't be able to see the fence from Square Lake Road.
So that's our house, but
Our house
across the
is,
street.
yeah.
Okay, I see.
That picture is taken from the south side, south side of Square Lake, facing
Looking at
north,
your house.
and our house is behind all of that foliage there.
Okay, so the 6-foot.
Yeah.
So what's the? Because it doesn't, it's just. it's
Correct,
just,
it will not connect to anything, it doesn't.
It's just
The other item that we were told is that because we have a dog, that this is considered to be a dog enclosure. But my statement was, well, we're not running the fence to keep a dog in, so I'm not sure how it could become an enclosure for a dog. But the fence that we're looking for, what we did was we cleaned up all of that area that is to the south part of our house for usable living space.
So is this 6-foot fence for privacy, for sound barriers, for all the
All
above?
the
All the above.
You knew that.
Keep going, you're doing great.
Right. I just-
You want to, would you come over here on this side?
So because you're now using your yard differently, you want, so there's a safety path there where people walking?
No,
by?
on our side, there is not.
Okay. And are you saying that you're, from that picture, you can't see the fence 12 months out of the year? It's blocked?
Well, maybe in the winter.
I would say probably 9 or 10 months of the year, no. Now, if you were driving down Square Lake Road because of the height of the property line, you would have a very difficult time, unless you're in a semi-truck, to be able to see that fence.
Because of the elevation.
Because of the elevation, we're approximately 10 feet from, well, actually it might be more than that, but, and it's at least 10 feet from Square Lake Road, grade level, up.
Yeah, because typically, if you want screening or privacy, I'm just saying, the majority of the time want sort of vegetation as opposed to fence. You've already got stuff there, which I guess is inadequate, or you can't plant more, so we sort of just have this, unconnected piece of fence where people have asked for, screening walls or different things, and we try and, soften that or see if there's another way to achieve that objective. And, Square Lake, that's a whole other challenge for you, because that's certainly not a typical, neighborhood street.
Right.
That's a pretty busy road, so.
Almost everybody seems to have 2 fences or 3 when we drive.
Well, the pictures, I can't
Yeah.
speak to that. It does seem like there's a lot of fences and chain link, and you got
The wood.
the white, that white split rail fence, is that in a right of way? Is
That belongs to Bloomfield
Yeah,
Township.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's in the right of way, so that's
Yeah.
not, okay.
Right,
Yeah,
and you
we're
see that all the time.
Yeah,
so.
we're above that.
Yeah. And so you would be able to see this fence
From the
at least a
road.
couple months out of the year, at least when it's winter.
Is there an opportunity to screen it at all?
It would be very difficult because of the grade. Because there's not,
a level spot that you could actually probably put some kind of planting in,
And-
unless you were higher up.
And you did show a rendering of what the fence you were looking to put there. Is it a white fence or is this
It's
natural?
It's a treated fence.
Natural.
So it'll kind of,
It's just a wood fence.
Treated wood.
Do any of the other houses that have this type of fence or a fence on Square Lake have any screening, to your knowledge?
No, I showed you the pictures, that there was no screening on the one that's on the corner of Emerson and Square Lake. That one has zero screening along it, and the one across the street, as you can see on that one, you had the white rail fence along Square Lake, then you had a cyclone fence, and then the wood fence behind that.
I mean, beyond what you showed us in the pictures, are you aware of any fences with any screening on Square Lake?
Oh, no, I'm not. Mostly it's overgrown brush, if you will, on a lot of the houses that are along there. As a matter of fact, I think the name of the company, O'Brien, was just down Square Lake Road cleaning up the overgrown brush all the way down on both sides.
I go through this area often and I don't recall seeing much screening on fences there.
Do you turn around in our driveway?
That's not me. But I have seen a lot of those broken white fences that are in the right of way.
Well, yeah.
So can you show us, is there a sort of a top view that shows the location of the fence in relation to the existing trees? Is there something that shows that?
If you go back to the plan, that one right there, right along.
I thought we had something that showed.
Yeah, so this is Square Lake right here. This is where we're gonna put the fence. And in this area here, it would be between white rail fence and here, and it would be 12, the fence we're proposing would be 12 feet from the existing white rail fence, 24 feet from Square Lake Road, from the curb. And in along this section right here is where the foliage is.
But you showed us a picture because you said you put some posts up that we couldn't see. That's a picture you took.
Yeah, he
Could you-
had it on the overhead projector.
Yeah, could you show that again?
Yeah.
Okay, so so your fence is going to be behind all of those trees?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be, those trees right there are about 8 foot from the white rail fence. We're gonna be another 4 feet beyond that.
So really
And the whole-
planting any screening there would be difficult.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really tell from there, but this is a grade that goes up at a fairly steep grade.
Right, and then also just the shade and the roots and all that.
Right. I mean,
So-
if you let me, I'd put a retaining wall in and, then I can plant.
So I'm going to open the public hearing. Anyone like to comment on this? So I'll close the public hearing and bring it back. So I think we have a picture. So I'm struggling with this. I mean, it's, don't like just a piece of fence, but he is on Square Lake. Normally you want screening. You can't screen it, but it looks pretty dense. 10 months out of the year, you can't see it. So 2 months out of the year, you can. I don't like doing it, but I can kind of see you're trying to use your yard more effectively, so.
Is there
And it's a major thoroughway.
What's
I
that?
mean, it is a major thoroughway.
And it's the biggest thing is it's Square Lake, so if it was anyplace else, I wouldn't do it, but it's Square Lake.
I will.
So are you guys okay with it or
Oh, did you
no?
have a question?
I just had a question. Is ours, so the treated wood, is that gonna be yellow? It's like greeny. It's like a light green, like very pale green. Okay.
I don't know, shade of green.
Isn't it brown? I don't know.
It's like a net, I looked at a net.
That would be a cedar
We just want to
fence.
sort of make sure that if it's a darker color, it's going to be harder to see it, so.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
It'll
Well,
weather.
I think we could change it to a cedar fence, and that way then it would have more of the brown color to it
Well, I thought
than,
when it was treated, it
than a green.
naturally kind of
Yeah, I thought it was going to darken or,
Right.
yeah.
And blend in. That's
Sort of
usually what you
matches
see.
the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Did you want
This
to go into-
is,
Oh, it's blank.
Yeah, please.
so this
So this was a fence that we had gotten permission to replace the existing fence a few years ago. This is the cedar color.
Is that what you're planning on?
No, we weren't, but we would have no problem with changing it to the cedar color.
I
This
think
would be
it's
like
just,
perpendicular.
Don't you think?
well, I thought the natural.
I think natural's better.
I think
Natural's better.
Yeah, I don't like regulating color, but
Well,
could I
mean,
just
if
say a
it's
darker, you know, if you could make it darker and then see, if you like that, then
like the natural
Yeah.
colors, you know what I mean by that?
then it blends right in.
Anything that makes it
ages,
disguises
over
it.
time, it becomes.
Yeah. Okay. Ready for a motion?
I'll make a motion then. Long ago, but
I'm getting a lot, and people want me to move.
I think we should serve snacks, and I think it would change.
No, no,
things,
no,
but-
it's not an airport.
Okay, well, in regards to the appeal at I thought you had a question. At 377 Kendry, for a 6-foot-high fence located on Square Lake Road, which is a secondary frontage, I move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty. Because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome, because without this 6-foot fence on a very busy thoroughfare like Square Lake, it would prevent reasonable use of the property. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors because it will be very difficult to see, and there's natural screenings there as well. Unique circumstances of the property, they have multiple frontages. I do understand that. I have 3 frontages myself, so that is extremely unique, and because of that, it is not self-created. With that said, if approved, the motion also includes application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. I don't think I'm going to add additional evergreen plantings for the screening of this fence. I do believe that that would be very difficult. I don't know if the plantings would actually survive in that particular area. And I think because of the sloping and all of that and the distance it is from the actual Square Lake, that I'm not going to require additional screenings.
Support.
So I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations. Request is granted.
Can I have a clarification on the fence material? Did you want us to go with the darker or the lighter? Doesn't matter?
We're not going to, I'm
We-
not
I don't want to,
That's your
you
choice.
know,
Okay.
whatever you feel is best. I mean,
It's best that.
whatever you
unless-
best, just help us out and have it blend in as much as possible, so.
All right, will do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I think we worked with you
Have a
quite a
good
bit, so, okay.
Item 10.
Item 10, there you are.
Good evening, my name is Stephen Bonamy from Creative Design Build. I'm here on behalf of the Zerwas family, who are the homeowners of 2852 Macefield Court. The Zerwas family came to Creative to renovate their rear yard, and as a part of the project, we are requesting approval for the accessory use of a spa. The proposed spa will be located in the rear yard immediately adjacent to the patio, providing safe and convenient access from the home. The placement has been carefully selected to integrate with the overall landscape design while minimize any impact to the neighboring properties. There is an existing mature evergreen hedge that already provides substantial year-round screening that we are going to extend to completely enclose the spa and patio from view from the adjacent property or the road. The spa will be equipped with a locking cover that meets all safety standards and will remain secured whenever the spa is not in use. We believe this request is consistent with the intent of the ordinance, creates no adverse impact on the surrounding neighborhood, and represents a reasonable accessory use of the property. We respectfully ask for your approval of this request, and I can answer any questions.
The spa is 3 feet high?
Yes, sir. It says right there. I believe so.
2 inches?
38 inches.
3 feet 2 inches, okay. Just want to see if you read your notes. Any other questions? Open this to the public. Anyone? Close the public hearing,
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
please.
With regard to the appeal at 2852 Macefield Court, for the accessory structure, I move the request be approved as submitted. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the accessory structure is not objectionable to nearby residents by reason that there is sufficient distance to limit the noise. It does not interfere with neighboring properties whatsoever. It is completely screen from neighboring properties. So with that being said, if approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits to be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen plantings may be required to screen the spa from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the structure at the time of planting, although it does look like you have that already accommodated for.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your
Thank
request
you.
is granted. Calling item 11, 3038 Betsy Ross Drive. Great street for the month of July.
It is. My name is Nick Danfus. I'm the resident at that address, and I am seeking permission request for a shed and a dimensional variance request for a play structure inside of the setback.
Okay, so it looks like the shed is under construction?
It is at a more complete stage than that now. That was an older photo.
Oh, okay.
So it's existing.
It's
It's
existing,
existing.
well,
It's
it's
a structure.
in process of being built.
In process of being existing.
Any other questions?
Is there a reason why the play structure is within the setback?
There's a mature maple tree there that we were trying to take advantage of the shade there. There were some roots that we needed to work around, and it ended up being inside of the setback.
How high is the play structure off the ground?
12 feet. The peak is 12 feet. The deck that you see there is about 4.5.
How long has it been there?
5 years.
Any other questions? Open this to public. Anyone like to comment on this item? No? So close the public hearing.
Do you have any intention of screening it?
I can, if that's going to be required. We can do some evergreens.
That would be good.
That's no problem.
Please.
My crude drawing from my phone here. On the right, those are existing. They block the shed from the roadway, and on the south side there, the play structure. There are some existing along the west lot line, and then, like I said, I'm happy to add some more along the north and in that southwest corner if needed.
Is the play structure visible from the road, or I couldn't tell from that?
With the arborvitae's there, no.
So currently?
Those are currently there, correct.
But those arborvitae's are not on your property.
Oh, to the south there. No, those are not on my property.
Is there any way to move it farther away from the fence?
No.
What if we were to extend, arborvitae's across that lot line that we're seeing in the back there?
Facing west.
Yes, along the west property line there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, the fact that we can see that house probably means that they can see the play structure, and we're trying to make sure that that's not something, that and the shed are not viewable by the neighbors.
So you're going to screen it from public view?
Yes.
The structure in the shed.
Structure and the shed?
Correct.
And so that means the arborvitae's are going to be to the height of the structure?
In time.
So you'd have to have that at the time
Of planting.
planting.
Well, respectfully, there's a golf simulator in our neighborhood that was approved by this board that has plantings that are not the height of the structure. I'm just asking for similar consideration.
So that'd be up to the enforcement division?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we set the standard, so if you want to make our enforcement division aware of the golf simulator, that's one thing, but we're trying to enforce the ordinance.
Yeah, I'm not interested in, taking any action like that. I just want to be able to use my property in a similar fashion.
And we're just trying to be consistent.
Yeah, it puts us kind of in a bind when something is existing.
Right.
Because normally we could have talked these things through before it was built, so now we're trying to see what we can do, right?
And it's, unfortunate, typically we don't even have to approve play structures other than if they're in the setbacks, and yours is high and it's in the setback.
Right.
So the piles for the play structure, are those cemented in? Is that why you can't move it?
That's correct.
Well, certainly some sort of screening, at least in that section, to the height of the play structure in that area. Is that feasible?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, that would be great.
Well, and also because, and I'm just directing this to my fellow board members, in this case, if the property line is back far enough, as long as the arborvitae's are high enough that because it's technically not at the top of the thing, but as long as it's obscuring the view of it, you might only need 10 feet as opposed to 14 feet or
Right.
whatever.
That's true.
Yeah.
It just has to be screened.
It just has to be screened.
Yeah, and I guess maybe even in this case, what we're looking for is sort of a softening of it. I'm trying to be reasonable with them because there is a row on the other side that's not his, which he can't count, but it certainly right now blocks the view. So, how tall is it, play structure?
12 at the peak.
Okay, so what are you suggesting that you would like to screen it to? What height? When you say eventually.
I'd be happy to plant some green giant arborvitae's at 10 feet.
And then just use a lot of Miracle Grow.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Okay. You guys okay with that, or no? You want the?
I
you want
think
the-
it's softening that, making that effort to soften it. I mean, 10 feet, I mean,
And the other thing, it's been there 4 years?
5.
He said
5 years, okay, so. So we're trying to big picture balance.
Yeah, because it's white.
Carol was here, she'd be kicking me, I think. Carol would kick me. But no, I think that would work, don't you guys think? Reasonable board?
We didn't have any
Yep.
objections.
No, Jason, okay. Let's
so what
give him
about
the
the
motion.
shed? We're also screening the shed?
Yeah, he said he would screen the shed.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what about the height of that screening? Is that to the height of the
That's different.
structure? You can do that, because we helped you out on the play structure.
Yeah, so I believe I submitted some photos. There are some arborvitae's along the front, and I'd be happy to add them along the side as well.
Okay, so that you can't see it,
Correct.
public view, okay. I think we can have the motion. We have a very
Did you open it to the
cooperative
public?
applicant.
Did you open it to the public?
I'll open it to the public. Anyone like to speak? I think I did.
All right,
But
maybe I
here's your second chance, and you guys, I know, one of you wants to talk.
I must have missed
No,
it.
I'll close it, okay? Now we can have the motion. You ready, Ed?
Yes.
You're on the
All right, so
verge of a great motion.
relative to the permission request at 3038 Betsy Ross Drive, required for the shed, I move the variance be approved as requested based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate all of the standards for practical difficulty. Because there is no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by reason of the fact that we have agreed to a screening strategy that should mitigate that satisfactorily. And as far as that goes, okay, so that would cover the dimensional variance, the permission request. And then for the dimensional variance required for the existing play structure, encroaching 10 feet into the required 16-foot side setback, I move the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with the, based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all the standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome given the fact that they would no longer be able to use the structure which they have been using for several years. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors by reason of the screening plan. Unique circumstances with the property have been demonstrated, and it's not self-created due to the fact that we are screening it to avoid any possible problems with the neighbors. If approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days for the existing play structure. Application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year for the shed, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And additional evergreen plantings will be required to screen the accessory structures from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the structures at the time of planting as viewed by the neighbors.
Support.
I have a
I'm sorry.
Yep.
discussion point. Because the shed is half-built, does that
Mhm.
make a difference for an existing? So should the permit
Thank
be
you.
within 5 days?
Okay, 5 days, yes. I would like to amend that to 5 days, if I can get support.
Support.
Okay, we have an amended motion, Mr. Chair.
So we have an amended motion, we have amended support. Any further discussion on the amended motion? All those in favor of the amended motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request as modified has been granted.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Calling item 12, 6487 Sunningdale.
Hi, I'm Sonia Dardigan. I'm here on behalf of my husband, Dennis Begovich. We are seeking a variance for our property, 6487 Sunningdale. We've been at the home, living there for 6 years. We have one of those unique properties with a secondary front yard. And we're just taking this 6-foot fence, privacy fence now, because of there was a safety path installation, and they removed a lot of vegetation that was kind of separating us from the Maple Road. And that, kind of increased a noise barrier to us, and it poses a lot of privacy issues now, as you can see the before and after pictures. So that's basically it. We're looking at a 6-foot, it's gonna be at a 40 to 41 feet away from the Maple Road. And I'm looking at a vinyl 6-foot privacy fence in clay color to match the siding of the house. I mean, I'm open to any other color suggestions, anything. We've looked and talked to many arborists, horticulturists to see, because I know that screening is preferred. However, they're all saying they don't think anything's going to establish there, just because unless we clear cut the existing vegetation. We've looked into trying to move the fence in, but we don't think that that's going to really work. It's not going to align with the edge of the driveway, and it's going to reduce our usable yard space in that sense. We only have about 17, 18 feet of that side yard. So it just doesn't really aesthetically look, it's not going to look right.
So is that the safety path there at the base of the fence?
No, that's just an example of the fence itself that I was thinking about, like a vinyl fence that would like match, just as an example of the color of the house.
So, so there's the safety path.
Yep.
That's the existing safety path.
Mm-hmm.
And I see some trees interspersed, and then your house is behind there.
Yes.
Are
and
there
it
any
used to be completely covered.
arborvitaes back there at the edge of the wooded area, the sparsely wooded area?
There are no arborvitaes. There are some burning bushes on the other side, which we love. Yeah, there's no arborvitaes, and like I said, I've called a horticulturist, an arborist. We've actually gone back and forth with an EESD director, the Township, Corey Almas, asking him, okay, what can you do as far as the replacement here? Because we talked about trimming. This was clearly like removing a lot for us. So you can imagine when we came back from vacation that we were a little stunned what happened here. And even, I have it in writing from them that they don't even think that nothing on that side would actually survive. So they're just saying, well, just wait until some native, undergrowth grows and things like that. They did replace the southwest corner, right by the front of the driveway, southwest of Sunningdale and Maple. So we're waiting for that to grow in, but nothing further back where my kid plays, where we like to spend some time.
When you say they said nothing would survive there, who is they?
EESD Director Corey Almas,
Okay.
like the township, and
So the
along
city-
with the
the township said
arborist
it.
that I've, called to just do diligence on my part and make sure that before I came here.
So where would the fence be placed then relative to those, in that picture there? Is it going to be on this side of the green foliage that we're seeing, or is it going to be on the house side?
It would be on the house side.
Okay.
So it would be, yeah, if you can kind of zoom in, it would be kind of behind the burning bush, if you see it, like I'll just kind of point it. like right here, it would
Okay.
start. So it would be pretty hidden.
Okay.
But
And it would also be hidden, because there's that berm. The berm is about 3 feet. So for the significant length of the fence, it would be hidden, that 3 feet would be hidden of it. And so I think towards the back where there's a little bit of that slope, that's about 18 feet that I measured, it would just be, that would not be, but there's so much shade there, nothing really grows there.
So it's similar to the other request. So this fence doesn't connect to anything.
No.
You want it for privacy or along another busy road, Maple. You've got existing trees there that prevent you, so you'd have to, take them down to put in evergreens. They're not evergreen, so we've kind of got the same set of factors here. We're kind of going against the use of a fence to screen, but what if there's already mature trees in the spot? Or, in this case, we had a safety path that went in that took some of the other vegetation out.
Yeah, so, you're trying to preserve the privacy and the effective, safe usage of your yard for your children, and I understand that completely. I'm a parent myself. As far as the color of the fence, one of the things that we're trying to avoid is anything that would attract attention to the fence. We don't want people looking at, like, this fence sticks out. I mean, if it just kind of blends in. So if you could choose whatever color you think would kind of blend in and draw the least attention, that would definitely be the least objectionable to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally open to that. I was just like, oh, maybe they'll want it to match to the house, I didn't know. So I'm absolutely open to that.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
I thought I did. I'll open the public hearing for this. Nothing? Okay, close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
These guys are saving up their comments.
With regard to the appeal at, hang on here, 6487 Sunningdale for the request for 6-foot-high fence located in the Maple Road secondary frontage. I move that this variance be approved as requested based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome due to the fact that this is a corner lot. There is no injustice to adjoining neighbors by reason of the fact that this fence will essentially be screened by a berm and not be visible from the public. Unique circumstances with this property have been demonstrated because, again, it is a corner lot and has multiple frontages, and this is not self-created. So if approved, the application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen plantings may be required to screen the fence from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the fence at the time of planting. Yet, I do understand that that may not be possible and that the berm is essentially your evergreen plantings. But if
Yeah,
any
it
of
will-
those trees were to essentially maybe die off or something like that
Oh,
down
we're-
the road, If that's the case and it becomes very obvious to the public, you may be required to plant evergreen plantings.
It will give us a chance to.
Completely understand.
Support.
I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is granted.
Thank you.
Item 13. Another fence.
So very similar. I have a two-front yard.
Secondary frontage, yep.
Yes. So I have a front yard to South Cranbrook and then South Cranbrook Cross. I have a lot of mature trees that I'm very excited about. With that being said, I am asking for a variance to extend the fence into the front yard on South Cranbrook Cross. Very open to where it lands or if it is approved. The structure that's to the back is my current garage, so my property line doesn't expand past that. And then it would align with the driveway. And then proposing to bring the fence 3 feet up from the existing sidewalk, so it's not coming up to the existing sidewalk. And then there would be a landscape area that I would be willing to plant for that fence.
Do you have a dog?
I do.
So is this for the dog?
So I have 2 pugs. They cannot be outside for extended amounts of time. They cannot do well in heat. I am typically outside with my dogs at all times because I have lived in North Carolina with HOAs who did nothing about barking dogs, so I'm very cognizant of that. But it is for the dogs in regards to safety from other dogs coming into the yard, because I am in a corner lot. There could be a dog coming around the corner. I may or may not know, especially at night when letting the dogs out. So in regards to, is it for the safety of the dogs? Yes, but it's not to leave them out unattended for any extended time.
So the wonderful thing about our ordinance is that because you own a dog, and we're now have an enclosed area, we have to treat this as a dog fence, even though,
yes,
you may not be the primary reason. So we also have to approve the 2 existing fences. So I think you said this. The one part of the fence is only 3 feet away from the sidewalk. So what's the thinking behind that?
Again, I'm happy to move it up if it needs to come up.
That's good.
Yeah, very open to that.
Okay.
I didn't want it coming up to the sidewalk because, again, I've lived in HOAs that have allowed that, and I know that's potential for issues with dogs passing and comfort of neighbors.
Okay. So that helps us. I mean, so it's dog enclosure fence. We don't want it on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
How far away would you?
I would still like to utilize some of the side yard, but like I said, very open.
Well, you can
to
still
bring it up
utilize the side yard. Right?
with the fence enclosure.
I see.
More for enjoyment of the yard. Again, not for leaving the dogs out.
Approximately how far is it from the sidewalk to your house?
I would say, I think it is 15 feet, 20 feet. Like, it's a very short side yard in comparison because the house goes back from Cranbrook Cross. South Cranbrook, it is much closer than it is in the front of the house.
See, because on the other side, your fence is right on the property line.
Yeah, I'm assuming I did not put that fence in.
No, I'm not.
So I'm not, but yes.
I'm showing you the area that your dog has to work with. There.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So you got all that other room.
Yeah. Yes, I believe so. If not, I have a photo. Yes. So I'm proposing, I think they call it a Nantucket style. Again, more to keep the dog safe, but understand it may stick out because it would be visible in the yard. Also, definitely open to like black aluminum if that's easier to blend with the yard.
Your existing fence, is that the same material?
The existing fence is chain link.
Oh.
And it is shielded by very tall evergreens between the neighbors and I. And then we do have up towards the corner where it was shown on the map is vegetation that shields it from the street as well.
Were you planning on screening?
Ever you guys. So waiting, I have a landscaper who's willing to do what's needed.
All right, well, let me open this to public. I'll open this to the public. Anyone want to speak on this? Close public hearing. Of course, you guys are saving your energy. Yeah, so I just,
Do we have any input on the color, the chosen color, or no?
I mean, if it's going to be screened regardless.
Okay.
yeah, I'm trying to, sort of agree on where the fence is going to be located, right? So it's going to be off the,
I do have a map of the fence as well from the fence company. Let me see if I can find that. That might give it a little bit more detail than
Right.
that.
Right, would you want to shift it closer to the house, is that what you're thinking of?
well, yeah, further away from the, and then she doesn't want to impede the use of her yard. So it's going to,
While we're waiting for her to pull that up, may we see the pictures of the actual home?
The aerial?
real photos? No,
Oh,
yeah, there
okay.
we go. I just wanted to see. So there's the chain link. Is that what I'm seeing? Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, so the
Oh.
chain link is behind the evergreens that are currently there.
so you
Okay.
can't even see it.
So, yes.
And then it's on the front of the home, it's towards the right-hand side when you're looking at it.
Mhm.
So it's very hard to see from the street.
And then on the right where it says view to the east, that's where you're thinking of putting?
Yes, I would like for it to kind of come up here to the driveway and then around this tree. Because the tree roots will probably impede the fence if I was to move it closer. So that's, I would like to go around the tree to provide shade.
Could you estimate how far the tree is from the sidewalk?
I think it's on,
She wants a fence in the front yard.
What was that?
Is this, it's the fence in the front yard?
I'm sorry?
Is this in the front yard?
No, but she has a frontage, so it's on it's on the side. Is my
This is
understanding.
secondary.
Yes, it's
So,
secondary
but her
frontage.
driveway goes around to the side.
okay, yes. So I did have a fence company come out, and it is proposing 30 feet of fence, and that was up 3 feet from the sidewalk. So if that makes sense,
So starting at the back of your house, is that the case?
No, so this is starting, I have a sidewalk here to a side door. I was hoping to bring it up, also again, willing to adjust. Just because naturally it would end where the door is and there's a natural path there. The company that I work with works a lot in Bloomfield, so they know to bring the fence up, so that's where he suggested a minimum of 3 feet, if not more, to accommodate any landscape requests. But as I mentioned, I also didn't want it going because I don't want dogs to be at a fence.
With two
So-
frontages, oh, go ahead.
How would you let the dog out from your house? Is there a door?
There is at the back of the house. So I would not be using the side door, front door to let them out. They would go out the back of the home.
So with two frontage, where is the front entrance to your home?
It is,
What would you consider your front
Right here.
entrance? Right there, okay.
yeah, this is the front, and then on their drawing, that would be the back.
And so then that drawing where it's on the left, that's the fence, right, where it says
Yes.
30, 58, 20?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can mother talk for me?
If you guys would allow.
So you've been here a long time.
Let her come up to the podium, but
Yeah,
you
come
have
up
to come
to
to
the
the
podium.
podium. And you have to give your name.
If it helps us with this,
Be on
it's
mom.
much appreciated.
I was gonna say, I think that's the front.
Think that's the front?
My name is Melissa Kitts, and I insisted that she come tonight. So we've never had to come to a town meeting before.
Have you been impressed? Has it lived up to the height?
It has been.
Has it been good? Okay.
Part of the, I think, the issue too is that we've purchased it, she's had some things done, and we haven't been in the house long enough. If your desk was the house, the sidewalk is probably not even to the end of those green chairs. It's not that far. So it wouldn't be permissible, I don't think, to do a setback of the 16 feet that you're asking for. Part of the problem too is that we were told we had two front.
You do.
And so, the side door has a sidewalk that goes to the sidewalk. And she was thinking of putting it up to that sidewalk to kind of make a division.
So you do have a side door?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but it wouldn't be included inside the fence because of neighbors coming, if that makes sense. So there's the back door, if you go back to the picture.
I have a question for you. So on that picture, the diagram, if we're able to flip back to that window there, is there a door on that side of the house?
The door is right here.
Ah, okay. So you're not enclosing the door?
No.
All right.
Yeah.
But that's probably why you decided to put the fence there, was so that you could use your door?
More, yes. to use-
Yeah,
yes,
so you could
there
use
was a
the door.
parking in the driveway, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
All right.
Thanks, Mom.
I think we get it. So can we make a motion? So, because we got to approve, so you got to approve the fence that's on the property line. And then you got to decide, she asked, again, I don't like getting into the colors, the white fence, kind of very decorative. And then how far off you want to let her go from the, right? She's encroaching 9 feet into the 16-foot yard.
Well, technically, it's a front yard,
Yeah.
so it's not really a setback.
And it is, we have to remember, it is a dog enclosure, so there's a little bit more.
Right, you have to get away from this, yeah, so, I mean, you could actually give the dog, you could put the fence right here. It would just be a much smaller, I don't know what the access is, but it would be much smaller, if that's all it is for the dog. Right, is that the main reason you're doing this, for the dog?
No, it's for enjoyment.
Okay, you want.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but for the dog, it'd be a little easier, but now you got to worry about the dog coming too close to the sidewalk. Yes. So, and she said she's willing to,
How much would you be willing to pull it in so it'll still allow you to enjoy that space?
I could pull it in, I would say like 6 feet, 5 feet up
That's what I
from
was
where it
thinking.
is proposed. So I think in total, if we did the 3 feet for the landscaping and then 5 or 6 feet, it would be 9 feet up from the sidewalk into the side yard.
yeah, I think that'd work, that's what I was
Okay.
thinking. Let's do it.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a motion?
Sure.
As for the permission request, in regard to the appeal at 580 South Cranbrook Road for the accessory structure. I move the request be approved as, is this submitted or?
Amended.
As amended, yep.
Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the use of the accessory structure is appropriate to the neighborhood. A lot of houses have dog enclosure fence. It's important that pets remain safe within the yard. The location of the accessory structure will not hinder or discourage the adjacent use of the property due to the modified setback from the sidewalk. And again, the accessory structure shall be harmonious to the neighborhood, given that a lot of houses have dog enclosure fences.
Not for that part.
Not
Just
for that
when
one.
the dimensional
As
variance
for
from
the
setback.
dimensional variance request, in regard to the appeal at 580 South Cranbrook Road, for the setback variance, I move the variance be approved as amended based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate all the standards of practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome because, as stated, there are 2 front yards. With this property, there's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors because it, by reason of its 4-foot fence, and it's going to be set even further back from the sidewalk. Unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated, given that, again, there's 2 front yards, and it's not self-created due to the fact that it's a unique property that has 2 front yards, as amended, instead of as submitted, 3 feet from the sidewalk. The applicant has agreed that it will be, what did we say, 8 feet from the sidewalk? 8 feet from the sidewalk. If this motion is approved, the application for all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days for the existing fence. And, is that right?
I would say 1 year because the
1 year.
existing fence is not necessarily related to this request.
Okay. Application for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year. And all application, 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to the installation of the new fencing. And additional evergreen plantings may be required to screen the fence from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the structure, that being 4 feet at the time of planting.
Support.
So I have motion and support. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations. Request is, as modified, is granted.
Thank you.
Item 14, another fence.
Good evening to the
Good
zoning
evening.
board. I'm requesting to be approved for my fence at 350 Concord Place. I'm Patricia McGoy, and I'm the owner. And I'm going to go from an existing fence that is falling apart, and it's 4 feet, and I'm requesting to bring it up to 6 feet. And there are other neighbors in our complex who do have 6 feet fences already. It's going to be a pine shadow box, and the HOA has already approved it, and my next door neighbor has approved it, and he's in agreement. I do have a letter of his approval for it right with me tonight.
We can take it for the record.
Is this your existing fence here, and you're
Yes.
just going to make it 2
And
feet
you
tall?
can see beyond that fence, 2 houses down, that neighbor does already have a 6-foot fence as well.
Well, and obviously, if your HOA approved it, it's kind of standard in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Open this to the public. No? Okay. Close the public hearing, bring it back.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
With regard to the appeal at 350 Concord Place for the dimensional variance request for a 6-foot-high fence located in the rear yard, I move the variance be approved as requested. Based on information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome due to the fact it prevents reasonable use of her property. There's no injustice to adjoining neighbors. It is consistent with other homes in the area. The unique circumstances of the property have been demonstrated once again, that it is
essentially an existing fence, and she's simply replacing it, and as a result, this is not self-created. If approved, the motion must include application for all necessary permits to be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreen plantings may be required to screen the fence from public view and must meet or exceed the height of the structures at the time of planting. I do understand that your HOA probably has already addressed that.
And this is in the rear, so,
Okay.
I mean, doesn't need any privacy bushes or arborvitae's.
Thank you.
Support.
Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Congratulations, your request is
Thank
granted.
you.
Thanks for your patience.
So calling item 153868 Mill Spring.
Good evening, Ryan Pasquale, and thank you for members of the board for welcoming us today. I am the owner of Imperial Home Renovations here on behalf of Rich Ruffini, who is the owner of 3868 Mill Spring, and we're applying for approval to build a detached pergola running 21 feet by 39 feet in length and 18 feet in height, only due to the height of the fireplace. Before walking into the project itself, I'd like to address the board and some of the audience as well. We want to be upfront with the board that we're aware the HOA has expressed some concerns and opposition, which I'm sure you all have been made aware of, and that they've submitted letters on that behalf. We respect that these are genuinely held views and that we don't dismiss them entirely. We anticipate the HOA will be speaking here tonight in opposition, citing bylaws for accessory structures. We take that seriously as an internal matter, and our conversations with our clients will remain with the HOA directly. We'd also like to know specifically that the HOA, within the HOA, there are many homes that have detached structures, such as pergolas and pool houses within the neighborhood. In fact, I think it's 79 of 360 homes that have accessory structures built into them. Our application, we don't want to reiterate any of those approvals, but it speaks to the general transition of the neighborhood and that the proposed accessory structure that we are considering developing would fit within the community guidelines and architectural elements of the neighborhood. The structure does conform to setback limits provided by the township and the HOA. Screening will be heavily installed to screen the structure from the north neighbor by adding very tall arborvitae to extend the arborvitae row that's currently existing. That's more on the south side going towards the residence. And it also complies with architectural elements of the neighborhood itself. Finally, before we field questions from the panel, we have submitted letters of support from the neighbors. Some may be here. Not to take away any objections, but just to know that within the neighborhood itself, it's entirely that it's a opposed structure within the neighborhood. Any questions on the structure?
The HOA, we got a letter regarding deed restrictions. Are there deed restrictions that prohibit you from erecting this type of accessory structure?
So per the HOA, the HOA file that we found online from the 1950s was that there are no detached structures to the home. However, as I said, throughout the last several years, more homes, and we have documents that we can share. I can hand out because we didn't have time to submit them, showing what type of, just one.
So we looked at so we looked at the maps of the subdivision that are on the HOA website. All of the lots, this is one piece, there's 5 different sections of subdivision. All of the lots with a color represent some sort of accessory structure. In total, there's about 25% of the homes in the neighborhood have the accessory structures that go against the bylaws. Here's the next section here. These are all ones that are obvious in aerial images. I'm sure there's more than that hidden by existing vegetation. You can see that section there is quite a few pools, which is the blue. More in this section.
So,
and then this is our street here where you see there's multiple on the street with other structures.
And we've also have video, I think we should have it on file, if not I can pull it up, of pool houses and accessory structures that have
okay,
roof
so,
lines above.
so those are normal uses. Have you had any direct discussion with the HOA, or is it just a blanket, our deed restrictions don't allow accessory structures, we don't want any accessory structures, end of story? Is that?
I don't believe it has been end of story. I think it's been ongoing, and we've tried to.
But I'm saying there hasn't been any, can you make this smaller or move this? It's just no? Is that?
Correct.
Okay.
The way the deeds are written, they
No,
don't allow any.
I'm just asking, I'm not asking about the deeds, I'm asking about
Yeah.
the discussion with the HOA. Have you had any discussion with the HOA?
Mildly, or I would say mildly.
Okay, and what was the substance of those discussions? Did they actually
That-
modify
that-
anything?
They haven't,
Smaller?
it's not a no, but it is that we have a strict policy against detached structures, and I think
Okay.
Rich has had a well meeting
Yeah, so,
with the HOA.
all right, so I'll open the public hearing, we'll get it, because I mean, our ordinance is
Sure.
not the same as the
HOA.
HOA, so. All right,
You want to go through the design? We're good?
What's that?
We don't need to go through the design or anything, the layout?
I'd like to see it just a little.
Okay.
Sure.
because you're right.
So the structure is 21 foot wide by 39 foot in length. It is a Douglas fir timber structure. The fireplace and the kitchen area will be built out of, to be determined on the size of stone and brick with limestone that will conform to the general nature of the home. It is at least 10 feet away from the house. It conforms with all setback limits. It will be open air, so there's no dividing walls other than the fireplace that's blocking views from any kind of sight lines. It is all in the backyard, that it's running alongside of the side of the house, the most north side of the house. We are raising elevation to help with drainage and usability of the backyard. There will be a prefab hot tub that is off to the west of the pergola, outside of the pergola, and all of the landscape material will be done by Dual himself.
What's the size of the lot?
3/4 of an acre.
What's the height at the peak of the wooden structure?
Of the peak of the ridge?
Yeah.
15 foot 7.
15 what?
15 foot 7 inches.
Okay. I don't think that's the chimney. I don't know if that's to the chimney though.
You're saying that the chimney is to the
18.
Is to the 18 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I was asking. Was there any discussion? Like, hey,
17
could you
foot
lower
7.
the chimney or bring the roof down? There wasn't
We
any.
are open to those.
But I'm saying that there hasn't been any discussion with the HOA on that.
No.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? So I'm just saying, I just wondered if there was any dialogue back and forth. I'll open this to the public. Anyone here from the? Okay.
Hello, my name is Suzanne Quinlan Commit, and I reside at 866 Rock Spring Road in Hickory Heights, the same neighborhood as Dr. Ruffini and his wife. I've lived in Hickory Heights for 13 years and have known the Ruffinis for almost that long. I can assure you they take good care of their home and property. They've made many improvements to their home on the inside, which I assume increases their property value. Presumably, this new project would do the same. They have a very large and very private yard. I've never even seen the people on the other side of that line of trees that's going to be blocking the pergola. I also did an AI search regarding this issue, which said that covered patios and outdoor kitchens remain highly sought after. Designers report that over 78% of homeowners want a seamless indoor-outdoor transition, with covered patios, with covered patios cited as a top feature by experts.
You know, AI consulted with us before they gave that answer, because that's what our experience has been, is people like outdoor stuff.
Yes, and the main reason for this continued popularity is extended usability. So especially in Michigan, you can use it in any kind of weather, except maybe extreme snowy weather. Since this is a current trend, it would likely increase the property and resale value of their home, and in my opinion, would also modernize the property and subsequently better the neighborhood. So I would say this project is an asset to the township and should be approved.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your patience. Does anyone else like to speak? What's that? A couple hours?
Well, maybe, but good evening. Hi, my name is Chris Costas. I'm also a resident at Hickory Heights. Civil engineer by trade. I'm a licensed PE as well. And I have to appreciate the board's patience and knowledge of the ordinances. Seen a lot of great layouts today and some so-so sketches. So applying all your knowledge to some of this and making sense out of it is something else. But as you can see here, though, I think this is a well thought out plan. Seen a lot of architectural, civil, or even landscape stuff through my career, and I think this one's pretty well thought out. I am familiar with this space over here, and I do also believe, like Susie says, enhances your experience in this area. I think Ruffinis have done a great job with the existing space, and this would be a great addition to that.
Thanks very much.
Okay.
Is there anyone else that'd like to speak on this?
So I'll put it together for you.
Good evening. I hope I can be understood in as much as my voice is getting a little old for the evening. Anyway, my name is Don Fry. I also live in Hickory Heights. I'm on the board of the HOA. I'm also serving as the architectural liaison. And while I agree that it is a wonderful looking space from a design standpoint, frankly, it is, from our perspective and from within our deed restrictions, basically attached to the title to the property, it is not permitted. It's a great idea. I just don't think that it's quite the neighborhood to put this in, and it certainly is, regardless of what the additional findings suggest, it is unique in the neighborhood. There is nothing of this size or scope existing in the neighborhood. There are pool houses, there are some freestanding pergolas, most of which were installed without permits and without permission. And there is one other pergola that is actually attached to the back of the house, which therefore removes it from being an accessory structure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak?
Hi, my name is Stephen Aboud, 701 Hickory Heights. I am the president of the HOA, and I want to address two things real quick. There has been a very long email chain between the builder and ourselves about this particular plan. We are here to object to the variance requested for the accessory structure proposed at the Mill Spring Road and to ask the board to deny it. I'm going to try to explain it as plainly as I can. Hickory Heights is governed by recorded deed restrictions. Those are not informal guidelines. They are recorded in the Oakland County records. They were formally preserved by a notice recorded on March 24th, or March 2024, under Michigan's Marketable Record Title Act. They are current, and they are not they are enforceable against every lot in the subdivision. Those restrictions are specific about what may be built. They allow one single-family dwelling, a garage, and a fence. And then they say in plain words that no structure other than the dwelling and the garage shall be erected, except a fence. By naming a garage and a fence as the only addition, it closes a circle. A detached pavilion is not inside that circle. The restrictions also require something else before any structure is built. The owner must submit plans, receive the association's written approval. That approval has not been given here. Now, what is actually proposed, the plan shows a detached open-air pavilion, roughly 39 by 21 feet, standing on a masonry columns with full height, stone fireplace, chimney, mounted television, complete outdoor kitchen, and a spa. That is not a patio. That is a building. Consider the scale. This structure is 3 times larger than anything you guys have seen tonight alone. And it adds, it's a massive overbuild in a residential area. The owner intends to add fans and heaters so he can use it for 3 seasons out of the year. The detail tells you what it really is. A patio does not need heaters. It doesn't need roof, column, conditioned, 3-season space is a building meant to be lived in. If the owner wants year-round conditioned space of this size, the honest way to build it is part of a house, a new wing, enclosed with windows or sliding doors that you walk through, not an oversized accessory dropped in the yard. Framed either way, it's a building, and our restrictions permit only the dwelling and a garage and a fence. I want to be fair to the owner. We are not opposed to him improving his property. We tried to find a path forward. There's a long email chain that said that. I told him directly, make it a hardscape, a patio, at grade, outdoor kitchen, a fire pit. You do not have, if you do that, you don't have any issues with us. But the board cannot approve are the columns and the chimney and the fireplace and the TV stand. We can't do that. Even when asked, could you put an awning over it? He said, no, that wouldn't work. Also, he says that a large structure like this is going to raise property values and make the neighborhood more desirable. With respect, the value of Hickory Heights comes from the restrictions being applied evenly every lot, every year after year. The board is not here to judge everyone's taste. We're only here to apply the same rules to this lot that bind every other homeowner. That's why it matters in this decision. A variance addresses the township's ordinances. It does not and cannot override a private deed restriction. If this board grants the variance, it will not make the structure permissible. It will only hand the homeowner a township permit for something that the covenants prohibit. And place him in direct conflict with his own association. Denying a variance avoids that. Finally, consistency. A comparable detached structure was proposed elsewhere in Hickory Heights. The association did not approve it, and this board denied it after neighbors objected. The same reasoning applies here. For all these reasons, the board of directors and the property owners of Hickory Heights respectfully ask you to deny the variance. Thank you for your time. I'm glad to answer any question.
So so there's a back and forth on this. So is the objection that it's an accessory structure?
Oh, yeah, it's way overbuilt. Yeah.
And so if it was attached to the house, so if it's that size and was attached to the house, would it be okay?
It wouldn't be an accessory structure. I'm not going to say it's going to be okay.
But I'm just trying to understand what your objection. Your objection is to the scale of it, but only because it's not attached to the house.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, you attach it to the house, it's not an accessory structure. Then it becomes a wing of the house, right?
Right. Okay.
Thanks.
Is there anybody else who'd like to speak?
Good evening, Board. My name is Sean Hermes. I live directly to the east of Mr. Dr. Ruffini. My address is 3884 Mill Spring. I am the closest property geographically to the house where this is being built. Let me see. If you see where the outline in black, I'm directly kind of southeast. Nobody has a better view of the backyard area of the Ruffini residence than I do or my family does. I wholeheartedly disagree with everything the association said. I think they're overly political. I think they pick and choose who they approve and don't approve. When they said this is a unique structure, they're incorrect. There are plenty of structures throughout the neighborhoods that have large structures in the back of them. They said that it doesn't add the property value. The only thing that increases the property value is following their rules. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That is an absolute silly thing to say. Mr. Ruffini keeps his property in better condition than any other neighbor that I have. Building this structure will increase his property value, my property value, and all the property values around the neighborhood. I ask that you guys approve this, and I understand that the HOA has certain rules that have to be followed. Your approval would only allow us or Mr. Ruffini. I am an attorney, by the way, so I would gladly challenge the HOA's legality on this matter if you guys were to approve this. I think you guys should approve it. There's, like I said before, there's plenty of structures around the neighborhood like this. And I think that this is being denied for all the wrong reasons. The only other objection besides from the HOA that I'm aware of is one of the neighbors claiming that they're worried about smoke. But from what I saw was that this is an 18-foot request rather than 14. I'm not a physics major of any kind, but what I do know is that heat rises, smoke rises because it's less dense than the air around it. So if this were to be 14 feet, that would, I would think, become a problem because windows, especially on a two-story house, are generally around 16 to 18 feet in height, especially if the house itself is about 20 feet high. So I don't think that's much of a concern. With that said, I strongly encourage this board to approve this, and I can answer any questions you guys might have.
I have one. You had mentioned that there are several such structures in the neighborhood. Are you saying that there are several such structures of a similar size, of a pergola? Is that what you're saying, or are you saying that there's several accessory structures that are detached in the neighborhood? I just want clarification.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So without actually going in somebody's backyard and measuring things out, I can't say the exact size. But if you drive through the neighborhood, there's plenty that are visible that you can see. I get that they're supposed to not be visible, but some of them are. And if you drive through the neighborhood, you can know what it looks like. But there are other accessory structures that don't seem to be attached to properties in other people's backyards. And I've only seen them by driving through neighborhoods, not that I'm going around looking for them. So, yeah.
I have a question for the speaker. So you said that you're probably the closest neighbor to him. Do you think from a visual perspective, this is going to be an annoying sight to anybody around the neighborhood? I mean, are they going to be seeing this all the time and it's going to be in their face? And
I don't think so. If you guys are able to pull up really, I know they're putting something on the screen, but if you're able to pull up the point, we live on a cul-de-sac, and it's very, very, very difficult to see each other's backyards. So if you notice, lines of sight are not very, the other neighbors right there. There are, and there's a lot. We were talking about 10 or 15 feet of large trees here, all throughout here. This neighbor here has like 30, I'm guessing about 25, 30 feet high arborvitae, if I'm saying it correctly. There's trees all around this property line right here. So the only really risk of anybody seeing would be me, which I have zero objection to. I don't care if I see it or not. Potentially this house, but I would think that would easily be fixed by putting up some traditional arborvitaes. So no, I don't think anyone would see it. There's, like I said, there's trees all over here. In fact, Mr. Feeney's children and my children. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my house right here. Sorry. I was pointing to the wrong one for the whole time. Sorry. This house and that house. I apologize. So let me go backwards and say that there's the arborvitaes are right here. Those 25-foot ones are right over here. There's some trees right over here, and there's basically trees all around, all going all across this property line as well. And Mr. Rafini's son actually, built like a little. It's like a little area where they kind of go into the little forested area where they kind of like make a little camp type of thing. There's no structure there or anything, but they'll take like their little little tools and stuff like that there, and you can't even see each other through the neighborhoods. So no, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to see, especially if they fix or put something up on that top part of the line between 3840 and 3886.
Thanks very much. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? So I'm going to close the public hearing. And thank you for your comments. You can step away.
Thank you very much. Some factual errors there that I'd like to.
So I'm sorry, I've closed the public hearing.
He did that, I understand, but he did that on purpose. A lot of factual errors on that.
So I'm sorry. So I'd like to have a response then from the.
So obviously, we're asking for the ZBA's approval. Thank you for your time. I do want to just be candid about the scale. It is a large accessory structure.
Can it be any smaller?
However,
So I was just saying, 18-foot high pavilion?
We've done bigger.
You've probably done smaller.
However, I know it's drawn a lot of negative. I know it's drawn a lot of negative attention, but we don't see that size alone is a factor to say no.
Right. So I'm just asking you: is there any way to maybe reduce the size of the pavilion so it's 18 feet high? Do you need 18 feet?
So
this is where I'm going to squeeze you.
Yeah, I get it. So,
this says 21 by 39 by 18.
That's the height of the fireplace. It's
Okay.
not the height of the ridge.
Okay. Height of the ridge is
15.7. The current arborvitae blocking the house to the north are 22.
About 20 feet high.
20 feet
On the
high.
north side, which is the right side of that graphic.
We'll be bringing in additional arborvitae that are at least 16, 18 feet in height, and we'll grow with it. We'll match the 20 within a year.
In the 20s only, the width
We'll
of the
continue
chimney,
to grow.
The rest of it is 16 feet high.
Correct.
So less than the height of the existing
The
screening.
only way to make it smaller, the chimney smaller, would be to convert to gas and lower the chimney and vent it out the side of the fireplace.
So, but you don't know if there's any negotiability on the part of your client, 15, how about 12 feet? I mean, that's two times.
The height of the peak of the ridge?
Yeah, the
So
ridge, yeah,
because the
exactly.
timbers, the way they're engineered, they're roughly 15 to 16 inches in depth. So we need and we obviously care about watershed and the condition of the roof and the longevity of the structure. So it is a 612 pitch. And to support the weight of those trusses, those timber trusses, we need that height. Like I said, we can reduce the height of the chimney to cap it at the ridge and convert it to gas. Then we're able to direct vent it out to the back of the fireplace instead of going up to the top.
Well, the gas.
Therefore, you don't need the 2-foot clearance on top on the height. We only have the chimney has to be 2 feet above the
roof line.
ridge. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So repeat that again.
Would be to not have the chimney extend 2 feet above and go to a gas fireplace and vent the gas fireplace out the side of the side of the fireplace.
So what would the height of the chimney be?
Here, which would allow us to reduce the height of the chimney to cap it and cap it at the ridge.
So are you proposing that?
17.7.
Could you do that? Okay.
So that would, how tall would it be then?
17.7 to the top of the ridge. which is indicated on the plan. No, sorry.
thought the top
Sorry,
of the ridge was
15.7,
shorter than that.
15.7, 15.7.
So the ridge would stay the same, you're talking, but the.
Correct,
the
because we
height
do
of the
want to
chimney.
adhere, I mean, you have 8-foot clearance from when you walk on the patio deck into the lanai, or the pergola itself. And we'd like to keep that 8'6". Dr. Ruffini is a tall guy.
So these pillars that are holding up the roof structure right here, those pillars, they can't be shorter and still support the roof?
They can be shorter, I mean, maybe 6 inches. 8 feet is what you want to keep as an opening to enter. And I mean, think of your living room. You know, you don't have anything lower than 8 feet normally. So, I mean, we could potentially gain 6 inches.
Explain again to me why you have to have the pitch the way it is, so you have to.
It's the way the timbers are constructed because of the weight of them.
Okay.
And the webbing.
Well, it's also a very large structure, if you're talking 21 by 39,
Yeah.
right? So the roof, I mean, it's quite a,
It's a very heavy, I mean, just being timbers, each one is thousands of pounds.
Was there ever any consideration to attach it to the house?
We have not thought about that yet.
Okay, just curious. I mean,
Well,
there
the
are-
only downside
the
from that,
reason-
from constructing
There are
it is.
other structures in the township that are, you know, I just want to say similar in size, but have been attached to the house.
Correct.
You know, I have a hard time blatantly going against the deed. I mean, I'm trying to work with you, trying to get, you deserve to be able to use your property the way you want to. But also, it's hard for me to go against an HOA's and the whole deed stuff. If you're able to get something that you want and work within some degree of what's out there, I mean, we can give, you can give something, hopefully you'll come up with something that you're happy with.
Sure, I understand that, and
Mhm.
thank you for your comments. Do we have pictures of our supporting, showing the vegetation on the back of the house?
While he's looking for that, you know, just for clarity's sake, I mean, this isn't Washington. We don't want it to be Washington. We'd like everybody to just get along and respect one another, the ability to use your property, but also be considerate of your neighbors. I mean, that's what we're really looking for here in Bloomfield
And
Township.
I totally agree, and I hope and pray for the same. The only downside attaching it to the house is, we're trying to find an image of the back, is attaching it to the house would require extensive construction to the home itself, replacing the slope of the roof, that's kind of the overhang that comes off of the the 2-foot overhang. And then he has 3 windows that support his kid's bedroom, so it'd be an obstruction to the windows.
Yeah, he wants outdoor living space. He's got the means or wants the space because it fits.
Yeah.
It's larger. You know, and I will say, we've had a lot of deed restrictions come in front of us. I don't think I've ever heard of one that prohibits all accessory structures, so it's.
Detached ones, yeah.
Detached. It's pretty restrictive. We've had, you know, sheds restricted. We've had, you know, certain height restrictions, no basketball hoops. We've never had one that absolutely prohibits accessory structures, which we allow. I mean, we have an ordinance and a process for doing that, and then we have larger space. So
I wish that they would be able to come out with some sort of compromise.
I'm sure.
We'd have a much easier time approving it if we knew that we had consensus here.
Well, that's why I was asking. I don't know what the exchange was. It's, you know, the president of the association, you know, said there was some dialogue on it, but I don't know if it was like, because believe me, I've been involved in a lot of negotiations over my career. You know, proposal A is here and the other proposal's here, and they're really not that close. I don't know if there was much effort to sort of get.
There was an ask for permission and just an ask for clarity on, you know, on my end for the restrictions. And in each of his emails, he kind of ended it with, let's see here.
Because I'll just say, I don't feel an obligation to help the association enforce its restrictions. At the same time, the scale of this is pretty big. That's all. So those are sort of 2 observations I'd share with you. in trying to make this work. And I don't want to build it for you. I don't want to, if you're saying, and the comment was if it was connected, no objection, which seems now you're not really objecting to the scale of it because it's not that far away from the house, but it's then kind of going back to want to make sure that the restrictions are enforced. So
Is this something where we would table it and let them, give them opportunity to do this?
I don't know if here's what I'd say. Because you're here, I'll just give you this, and the president's here. We're going to take another matter. You guys go out and talk in the hall. If there's any hope of further dialogue, maybe we'll do it, but tell us what progress you make. So why don't we postpone this to the end of the hearing? Let them talk now, because I don't know that there's a good foundation here, but.
And I agree with you. I mean, in each of his emails, his lengthy emails to me, it states, nothing of this is meant to close off a conversation. So he's been, very, welcome to input. It's just, it seems to be that the deed restriction, in their view, circumvents the townships.
Right, because if the position is can't have an accessory structure, then your only option would be to attach it, which I don't know that.
Which makes things more expensive.
Yeah, you're just saying you don't want to do that.
And one note on attaching it, the square footage and scale of the whole thing is appropriate for the township and comply with lot coverage and square footage of the house and regulations of coverage in the rear yard specifically. So in terms of scale, it is appropriate for the size of the lot.
That's a good point.
So it's just scale as interpretation.
Yeah.
Right.
For this specific site.
Well, yeah, in the neighborhood that you're in and everything that surrounds it, which isn't, if you look at it, he backs up to Squirrel Road, he is on a cul-de-sac, there's.
And there's many projects in the township that dwarf the scale of this home and property. I've worked on many of them. We've got.
Well, I haven't seen all, I don't know if there's many.
And that's why I made the comment that.
Yeah, my memory's bad, so maybe I don't remember.
That's why I said the size can't be the deterring factor, because it still conforms with all the township's ordinances and compliance, rules and regulations, and that's why I want to show these pictures on the screen, because from what we could see from driving on the road, there are.
What?
I was listening to what you were going to say. And then Ed jumped in. He's ready to he's chomping at the bit to make a motion.
Oh, do you want to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we defer this to the end of our meeting to allow an opportunity for these individuals to discuss, to see if we've got some common ground that would help us reach consensus, not only amongst themselves, but with the board, to allow this to move forward or get other direction.
Okay, but unless they come back, I think we got to make a decision tonight, unless they come back with some sort of, yeah. What's that?
I guess my thought would be that I'm not sure that the next few minutes is going to address, but.
Well, unless they feel like there could be some further productive, right, and then we'd have to come back and make a decision one way or the other. But I guess, we tried this once before and it actually did work.
Right.
We had something that worked out, so we'll defer this. And do we have a motion then to do, so you made a motion to put it in support, and we've only got 2 more items, so it's not going to be a long discussion. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to defer this to the end of the meeting, and then we'll bring you back after you talk.
Thanks, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Take a vote on this.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Wasn't that? He didn't want to work with it. Item 17, 443 Fox River.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is William Bourgeois. I'm very tired. I'm the resident at 443 Fox River Drive. I'm here to get your approval for the variance of a gazebo that's been existing for at least 3 years, over 3 years. I've done my best to work with the zoning board by adding more trees around the existing gazebo. Those trees, within a certain period of time, they will grow at least 15 to 20 feet. And also on the outside, I have a berm where I have ornament grass. And they will grow as far as 4 to 6 feet from the road. The structure itself kind of blends in with the home. I'm just asking you guys for approval that it remain in place.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the board? I'll open this to the public hearing. You want to speak on this? We'll close the public hearing. So, let's see. To the right of that picture, is that a sidewalk or?
Right there with the dirt?
Yeah, is that a path?
No, that's a berm right there that I had added some dirt to raise it up. So, because previous, I tried to put arborvitaes there.
So wait a minute, go
but
back.
But they wouldn't grow.
That picture there, so I'm not oriented. Is this, where is your house then? Isn't the gazebo?
That's my house right there where the gazebo is.
Facing updike.
To the right of the picture?
To the right, so the house
Yeah.
is to the right of the picture.
Right.
Okay, and so this path here, is that a walking path or?
No.
Is that part of your property?
Yes.
Okay. I thought that was a, okay, so let's go back to the aerial now. Okay.
Oh, I see.
And so the gazebo is,
Oh, I see it. It's right underneath the numbers. Is that where it is?
Yes.
Under the 443?
oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay,
All
so
right,
then you
it
see
now.
that wide
I got
path.
it. All right.
I mean, the path.
So it faces Oak Brook.
Yes.
It would be visible, okay. All right.
So he
I
has two
think we're oriented.
frontages then, right?
Right, it's two frontages. And a lot of times you don't screen gazebos
Right,
completely
good
because
place.
they're kind of open air and he's got some screening on it. Okay, so I think we get it.
He's got 3, right? 1, 2, 3.
So you want to make a
Oh,
motion?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Do you know the height of your gazebo, just by?
10 feet.
10 feet, okay. Anybody else have any questions?
I think we're ready.
All right, I'll make a motion if there's no other questions. So I'll start with the permission first. In regards to the appeal at 443 Fox River Drive for the accessory structure of a gazebo located in the secondary frontage, I move that the request be, an existing gazebo, I should say. I move that the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards. Because the use of accessory structure is appropriate for the neighborhood, as these types of accessory structures like gazebos attached to the home are very common. In terms of the dimensional variance, at the same location of 443 Fox River Drive, for the gazebo, I also move that the variance be approved as requested. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty. Because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome, because without it, it would prevent reasonable use of the property so he could have some shelter for outdoor entertainment. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors, because it is somewhat screened and it is still an open air structure. Unique circumstances of the property, he has multiple frontages, and so that does make it very unique, and because of that, it is not self-created. With that said, if approved, the motion also includes application for all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days because it's existing. I am not going to recommend additional evergreen plantings for the gazebo because he does have some plantings there, and again, it is a very open structure, so I am not going to recommend additional screenings.
Support. Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations, request is granted.
So that means the trees I just bought, I can send it back.
You held that back for us? No, just kidding.
I bought a whole bunch of trees.
It's gonna look so nice.
It's gonna look even better.
Thank you so much.
Your neighbors will love
You
that.
could still plant them.
That's true.
They get plant tomorrow.
Very nice. It's
I
gonna
have-
even be better. You'll
Can you,
enjoy it.
can you even return trees?
I don't know.
Home Depot. You gotta-
Oh,
Oh, okay. Item 18.
But I'm going.
Have a blessed evening.
yes, you're so patient.
Last but not
And you
least.
still have energy.
Hi, my name's Katie Greening. I'm one of the residents at 6751 White Pine Court. I am here to seeking approval for the permission request for existing invisible dog fence encroaching 16 feet in the 25 feet. I'm not going to read all that. You guys can see that. So we have an invisible dog fence that was already there. I know ignorance is no excuse. We had no idea a permit needed to be pulled. Neither did invisible fence. We've had invisible fences in other neighboring towns. Not that that is an excuse, but they didn't require a permit to be pulled. So 2 years ago, I moved in. That's my father, Chuck Greening. He owns the place. We moved in. I brought along a dog. Okay, it's for a dog. Sorry, it's for a dog. They already have a poodle. The poodle that you could kind of not have to have an electric fence for. My dog, you do. She's prey driven, so she wants to chase all the squirrels out of the neighborhood, and that becomes a danger issue, right, for the family. The way our lot is situated on that court is it doesn't really look like a diamond right there. We have no backyard, essentially, to put up a fence. And if we did put up a fence, we obviously would have come in front of you. But it wouldn't be of anything for the dog. And it's, we're built into like a berm, I call it bunker, so to speak. So the first floor, and then there's a second floor where it goes down to that bottom part of our backyard. With the dogs, he can't go up and downstairs at 88. So, as I said, we didn't know that we needed to get all this permission. So yes, our invisible fence does circle the lot, because essentially our front yard is our backyard, because we don't have that. The neighbors have no issue with Harley. They all know her. The neighbor across the street just went to Greenland, or he would have been here to speak on our behalf. There's another neighbor who has a dog. She's okay with it. Nobody seems to have any problems with our animals. And they don't leave. She doesn't leave. My dog, which would be the one that they would be worried about, she's more afraid of it than the poodle. So the poodle doesn't leave it either, but he'll go closer to it than she will. So we're just asking for permission to keep our front yard, our backyard, for the dog's purpose.
So the only thing I worry about is, let's say you move, somebody else comes in with a dog. I mean, that's a big enclosure, and it's going through the front. So it just seems the same thing I'd say to you as I said to the previous applicant. Couldn't you just put it in the backyard? And
There is no backyard.
They don't have a backyard.
There's not a backyard.
The backyard is this.
I mean, they don't have anything
Show you
back
where the
there.
backyard is. It's this. So basically, this is not really our lot line back here,
Right.
from what we've been told, but it's a forest right there. There is no backyard to put up a fence to, and that would also be downstairs if you have to go downstairs. You can't do stairs.
Okay, so even if we, treated that as your front yard, you're still encroaching into the setbacks.
Oh, yeah, we're encroaching. We didn't realize that there was
Right, so
encroachment.
that's all I'm
Because
saying.
there wasn't, if we were to do it by, with all due respect, if we were to do it by your encroachments, the invisible fence would be in our house. Because we don't have,
The size of the lot.
Yeah. And you have two frontages too as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, we would, the invisible fence would literally be in the middle of our house.
It's not a lot to work with.
That certainly seems to be a hardship.
It does.
No one's complaining about it. I'm too proactive about it, and it's too late for me to think otherwise.
He doesn't want to
so
argue.
you
They
got-
wore him down.
So I'll open this to the public. Anyone want to comment on this? Close the public hearing and bring it back for a motion.
I'll be one to make a motion.
Please do.
Okay, so relative to the permission request for the invisible dog fence, in regard to the appeal at 6751 White Pine Court, I move the request be approved as submitted based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the location of the accessory structure will not hinder or discourage the adjacent use of the property due really to the layout of the lot. And then relative to the dimensional variance for a request for the existing structure, regard to the appeal at 6751 White Pine Court, I move the variance be approved as requested based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate all the standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome given the layout and size of the lot. There is no injustice to the adjoining neighbors for the same, and the fact is the real purpose is to make sure this not only protects the dog but the neighbors. Unique circumstances with the property have been demonstrated, as we stated, and it's not self-created because this is the lot that they have to work with, and they've done what they believe to be their best to accommodate the needs of their neighbors and their dog. If approved, application for all necessary permits must be made within 5 business days for the existing invisible dog fence.
So we have to do a permit? Yeah, so we have to come fill out.
It's an
permit?
ordinance.
Okay.
If you
We
come
have
into our
to-
office with,
So just come here and ask for the permit?
to the building division, correct.
With the building
downstairs.
division, ask for the
Mhm.
permit?
Yeah.
Okay, within 5 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll stick somebody else on that, but okay.
Support. Motion and support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Request is granted.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate it.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thanks for waiting.
Thanks for waiting.
Thank you for keeping an eye on this young guy. There we go.
Okay, so,
He's gonna get a, see what kind of progress there is.
Well, it seems like they should be coming in pretty soon. Otherwise, we could,
Sneak out the back.
I know we don't want to table it. Oh, boy.
Just gonna wait for the chair.
Yeah, no problem. It's been a long night.
Yeah.
Sorry to add to it.
It's all right.
That's what we're here for.
Okay, they're back, Mr. Chair.
Did you make any progress?
I think we had a very casual conversation, and it was very kind of helpful to hear, you know, their covenants and their limitations on accessory structures. There were several comments made, you know, kind of like, is there a way to take the structure and tone it down a little bit to, you know, appeal more to the architectural community or to fit within the architectural elements of the neighborhood. I think the current plan reflects that. Mr. Raffini will, you know, will work with HOA in gaining approval from the HOA and the architectural committee to kind of, you know, bring this to light. The other option is we're going to attach a component of it, you know, to the side of the house. And it would fall under more of a building building issue, addition. There is a way to keep the current structure and attach an element to the house so it's more permanent to the structure in its current location. The HOA has seen that, you know, it's just it's the restrictions that's set in the deed, and they said until kind of someone gets involved to kind of rewrite that terminology, that it doesn't, he can't say no on behalf of the board, the entire board today, but I felt that he was a little bit more optimistic having those conversations today.
Is this accurate? Do you want to say anything? Is this accurate? Or
We'll continue conversations, get together, get the board together, with homeowner and his architects, and we can go over what we believe is possible, as well as if there's issues that need to be addressed with any covenants we currently have in the file, we can possibly start the steps to change those. But in the meantime, just simply building something because the covenant's wrong doesn't strike us to be being corrected by fact check. Start. It's sort of like, go ahead and do it and ask forgiveness.
I wouldn't, that's not accurate. I'm not a builder that would construct something without going through the proper channels. But I'll end it with, I'm asking the board's permission to approve this request, given that it conforms to all of the township's zoning boards. So we have at least some standing when we have these board decisions with the HOA and other members of the community.
You don't feel like tabling it would be productive? Is that what you're saying?
That's a discussion you have as a homeowner.
Well, the two items of discussion are regarding the height of the fireplace and
Which we
the
have
spot
agreed.
on the patio. So we already conceded to reduce the height of the fireplace, and the spot on the patio wasn't really a discussion, but you already approved one tonight in a tighter area. So we assume that's a non-factor, because it's a prefabricated spot sitting on the patio. So if this is considered the maximum extent of development, then we may make concessions with the HOA. So is it ready for approval based on conceding the height of the fireplace, because that's the one note, dimensional note that's requested to be changed?
does anybody have anything else? I mean, I can't make a motion. I mean, I didn't think were gonna come back with a plan. Doesn't sound like they want to postpone it. You want a decision, yea or nay tonight?
I would appreciate it.
Okay. So,
One more note there, the scale of it, if it was attached to the house, could be approved by the HOA. The pure discrepancy in the way that the deeds are written is that it's detached from the house.
yeah, and see, that to me isn't unreasonable. I mean, they can sue to enforce it if they want, but in today's environment, I don't think that certainly it's not consistent with all the decisions we've made in the 20 years I've been here, right? People have things in their yard, they've increased in scale. You know, where this is situated and the landscaping is pretty substantial, which is what we've always done. It's on a cul-de-sac, it backs up to Squirrel. So they've conceded the height of the chimney. I'm okay with it. So I'd vote in favor of it. So if somebody wants to make a motion,
Well, I think I just would like to make sure that the homeowners association feels that what has been described is okay. Do you have any other comments or anything? I just want to make sure you get I mean, any other?
Yeah, I got lots of other comments.
But
yeah, I
not
don't.
enough.
Now's your moment.
I mean, I'm just, okay.
There are
I just wanted to make sure you
three
had.
structures, not just one. There are three. You approve one, you approve them all. And I just can't do that as the HOA president.
Yeah, I'm not asking you to approve. I just wanted to make sure
Let's
you had an
table
opportunity
And
to.
he's got restrictions that say nothing, so he
Let's
can't.
table it.
Yeah, well,
I
can't we
move to
just
table
table
this.
it regardless? I mean,
I move to table this until, a future meeting.
support.
Okay. So I have motion and support to table. Any discussion? I don't think we should table it. I don't know that there's any more information that we're gonna have that would make this any better.
I just don't like, I mean, we're trying to design this up here. If we lower it, then it turns into a gas fire, a gas thing. I think it's getting away from.
That's something that
thing.
Mr. Raffini's okay with, and that brings it more into conformity on
I
the
don't want
height
to
of
do
the
that, but
structure.
I'm willing to, I mean, I give a little, I don't, like if that
Yeah.
helps it, I try to be flexible.
And here's the thing, if we table it, the only people who can vote on it are the 5 of us.
True. Good point, actually. Very
Not,
good
not
point.
gonna, it's not gonna, nothing's gonna change.
Unless they asked to postpone it and came back to a 7-member body.
Postpone it for the purpose of, I mean, maybe that is an
Or,
angle.
or I'm gonna let the board listen to what they've heard, because now it's getting late for me too, so.
Right, but I'm saying it, so you're at a disadvantage because you only got 4 people voting. We can't even seem to, or excuse me, 5. You need 4 out of the 5. How can we get this back in front of a full
No,
board?
I don't, at this point,
I don't think we can.
I don't think we can.
Yeah,
So, unless it was denied without prejudice and they could submit a new application for a totally new hearing.
Okay. So there's another option. You guys can deny it without prejudice, because I'm in favor of it. If you're not, it's, we need to make a decision to give the homeowner guidance. So either 2 options: approve it with the modification on the chimney, or deny it without prejudice, and he's got to come back. And then you could have a 7-person board, which you may have a better or different feeling on. So somebody's got to make a motion.
We got a motion on the floor though, right? Do we want to withdraw the motion or vote on that? Withdraw it.
Okay, the motion was just withdrawn by the
Okay.
mover.
Yeah, I don't think that helps us. Then we got
I
the
just
same.
think we've been going back and forth about this the whole time and, redoing their things.
Okay, well then, if you want to deny it without prejudice, then he gets a fresh,
What does the board think? What do you think, Jocelyn?
Trying to figure out what we're struggling with as a board, and, because also, obviously, there's a struggle. I mean, I would like, I mean, it was this height of it, which they had agreed to reduce. I mean, it's huge in terms of square footage, in my opinion, with that kind of a height of a roof over it. I am sensitive to the community and how they feel about it, so that would be the association. And it didn't appear that they were on the same page there. So I'm kind of not quite sure. I was looking forward to being postponed so I could think about it.
well then why don't
But-
we make a motion to deny it without prejudice? Because I just think having this happen again with 5 people is not
That's-
to the benefit of the homeowner. And maybe there will be some modification to it. I don't think so. But at least that would sort of, that would, I think, achieve the benefit of what you're trying, it would achieve what you're trying to do with a motion to table, postpone it.
Probably so, yeah.
So it's a different way to get to the same way, and it has the added benefit of
More people.
more people.
And I think, we can see that, the applicant is willing to negotiate. And I would just ask the board, please, we see this every month, and the regulations that you've got are really unique. They're really not in line with the other subs in the township. So and I know you know that, so it's something to revisit to see if we can move there too. And because we've got to allow people the opportunity to use their property in an appropriate fashion,
So, did you want to talk about your drainage? Your drainage issue or no?
Is the only concern at this point in time the relationship with the homeowners association?
Because the approval, if it fits within the guidelines, and HOA doesn't have any restrictions from setback limits or square footage of accessory structures that supersede any of the townships thing, guidelines, and it fits within it conforms with all of those
Then here's what
zoning board issues. So, like I said, I hate to talk only about size because there are other structures that have been approved. And it's unfair to kind of just say size is the only limited factor when it fits within all of the guidelines and was created and with two different architects to conform into that footprint.
The only thing I can say is that the size for this neighborhood seems to be a little larger than most. That's the only thing.
Well,
And then he has drainage from his neighbor on the north, as well as squirrel. He's had oil spills from other things, so this addition allows him to use his yard 100% of the time versus 40%, because he has videos and images of his yard and his next door neighbor being flooded throughout the spring and in the fall, because of the water runoff from three sides. So in any event, this allows him to better enjoy his space.
Well, I have a thought, because actually I just changed my thinking, because it sounds like as the homeowner and you representing him, that you would like to have a decision tonight. That's what I'm hearing. So.
And I do think we can make progress with the HOA.
I think we should vote on it and people vote the way they wish.
But vote on what? What are we voting on?
Well,
We
okay.
need a motion.
For the motion? Okay, that's
Yeah.
right, no one has made a motion.
Yep.
So, I'm willing to make a motion.
Okay.
So, there's no other discussions, this is, we're going back to 15, right?
Correct.
Mill Spring.
Well, but, okay.
Yes, go ahead.
What is your motion going to say? Are you voting, are you?
Do we have
I am gonna, I would like to make a motion to approve it with an amendment of the reduced height that he had suggested, of the chimney coming down.
Okay.
That's what I would,
And so would you vote for that?
And the gas?
and, well, whatever if he has to
Yeah.
reduce it, he has to decide
I don't know.
what would
Yeah.
that require, because I'm not technically equipped to say it has to be gas.
It has to be,
Big for
because
the
it can,
neighborhood.
for natural burning, it has to
And
be
then,
22.
Ed, would you vote for that? So,
I would,
okay,
because I'm
so,
hoping that we'll get
Okay,
some
so,
more
okay, so,
consensus.
I mean, I'm not gonna screw the deal.
What about Brian?
okay.
I support.
All right, well, I just want to make sure, because otherwise we should have a motion to deny without prejudice. All right, go make the motion then.
Fine.
Okay. So, I will start with the permission request first at 3868 Mill Spring Road. I'm sorry?
Keep going.
Oh, okay. For the pavilion with a wood-burning fireplace and spa, I moved that the request be approved as amended. Based on the information presented, the applicant did demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards because the accessory structure should be more harmonious to the neighborhood, given that the applicant has agreed to reduce the height of it. In terms of the dimensional variance at 3868 Mill Spring Road for a 21 by 39-foot reduced height pavilion of 16? Is it, because it's 18?
Yeah, it was 15.7.
15.7, okay.
From the peak.
And the chimney is?
Was 18.
Was
Or
18.
17, it was like 17.9 or something like that on the prints.
Okay, and you're going to reduce it by
To the height, so 15.7.
15.7?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's good.
So as amended with the reduced height of the chimney to 15.7 to meet the peak of the pavilion. I move that the variance be approved as requested based on the information presented. The applicant did demonstrate all standards for practical difficulty because compliance with the strict letter of the ordinance would be unduly burdensome. Because it's a corner lot. There's no injustice to the adjoining neighbors because of with the amendment of reducing the height of it, it will be much more harmonious and I would think much less objectionable. Unique circumstances of the property, again, it also has multiple frontages, and this is not self-created. With that said, if approved, the motion also includes applications for all necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. Additional evergreens may be required to screen the accessory structure from public view, and must meet or exceed the height of the structure at the time of planting.
Did you address the spa?
I did not address the spa. I didn't have that in my. Okay. And the permission request at 3883, 68, thank you, I'm just going from memory, for the spa as well. I move that that be approved as submitted based on the information presented to the applicant to demonstrate compliance with section 42-7.6 standards, because the use of accessory structure is appropriate for the neighborhood, as spas are very common. And if approved, also, the applications for those necessary permits must be made within 1 year, and all permits must be obtained prior to installation. And I'm not sure if the spa needs to be planting, but I'm including that as part of the overall project with the additional screening.
Yeah, they have substantial screening around the whole thing.
Just to make sure that it's screened from public view.
Okay, support.
I have a motion and support. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Any opposed? Congratulations, your request as modified is granted.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
We're adjourned.